Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Well, they came and got me out of Texas, and I can tell you it's a privilege to be back. I'll be talking to y'all soon.
Earlier today, Roger Clemens arrives at the stadium, about to begin his second tour of duty with the New York Yankees. And Clemens' return, it is a hot ticket here in New York, as those eyes will be back on the mound at the stadium in moments. And today, the YES Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Today, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates against the New York Yankees in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Bobby Mercer and Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees have won 4 in a row, but that's the sidebar. The main event is that Roger Clemens is back in pinstripes. Now, the two gentlemen that flank me here, they started their career with the Yankees, and they came back and ended their career with the Yankees. Bobby, how emotional was it for you?
Well, it was very emotional for me because I never thought I was going to get a chance to come back to the New York Yankees after I got traded to San Francisco. I mean, when you think about playing for the greatest sports franchise in the world with 26 world championships, it's very emotional because this is where I started and I grew up. And I had to leave for a little while, but I had the opportunity to come back. It was very emotional for me. I think it definitely will be emotional for Roger Clemens, too, because it's the kind of stage that he thrives with.
Now, Al, you started your career with the Yankees. You really made your mark with other teams, though, and you finished it with the Yankees. When you did come back, was it emotional?
Well, to further what Bobby was saying, there's no better city to play in. There's no better city electric-wise, the fans, and this stadium in Yankee Stadium. And Roger feels it like any other player's ever played here. And I certainly felt it. In 2005, when I came back, I was doing terribly with the Marlins, and it was a great moment for me to pitch well for the Yankees and help them in 2005.
Well, I think we know one half of the pitching matchup. Let's take a look at the entire pitching matchup brought to you by the New York Lottery. The guy who's going to be the other guy on the mound is Paul Maholm for the Pirates, 13-19 with a 4.54. And you look at Roger Clemens' lifetime mark, 348 wins, 178 losses, a sparkling 3.10 ERA. Clemens has had many great moments as a Yankee. Won 2 World Championships and a Cy Young here. When we come back to lineups and Roger's first pitch, that's next on Yes. Roger Clemens takes the mound here at Yankee Stadium, and the crowd giving him a loud ovation. So Clemens stayed in the clubhouse during the national anthem. Once the national anthem was over, jogged up the clubhouse runway and then up the steps and out to the mound at Yankee Stadium for the first time as a Yankee after 3 years spent with the Houston Astros. So it should be an exciting day here at the stadium. Obviously, the Yankees have been waiting a while for this. On May 6th of this year, he announced from the owner's box here at Yankee Stadium that he was, in fact, coming back. And that started about a month of getting ready. He pitched at A-ball, AA, and most recently at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, AAA. And the governor of Puerto Rico, Anibal Acevedo Villa, will throw out the first pitch. And Clemens will have a little more velocity, but he hopes to have that kind of control. So we're almost ready for baseball here at the stadium. So Roger's got the game face on. Little 5 o'clock shadow working, and he is ready. And Jorge Posada signing an autograph for the governor. Jorge lives part of the time in Puerto Rico during the winter. And the governor departs toward the Yankee dugout, and we are ready for Roger Clemens' rocket relaunch here at the stadium. Let's take a look at the Pirates starting lineup that Roger's going to face, and it is presented by Rico. Jose Bautista, the third baseman, leads off. Freddie Sanchez at second will bat second. Batting third and playing left field, Jason Bay does not have great numbers lifetime against Clemons. Adam LaRoche, who's really been struggling against everybody lately, he'll be at first base. He'll clean up. Batting fifth and DHing, nursing a bad hamstring, Xavier Nady. Ryan Domit, the right fielder, will bat sixth. Batting seventh and catching, Ronnie Paulino. Jack Wilson, the shortstop, hits eighth, and Chris Duffy is in center field, batting ninth.
And let's take a look at the 24-year Major League pitcher. There you see 2006 Roger Clemens with the Houston Astros. A season shortened by his late signing, 113 innings. He's been nearly perfect down there in Houston and pitched very well for them. And here back at New York with the Yankees. And let's take a look at the Land Rover pitcher scatter report. Control adrenaline. He's got 348 wins, 24 years experience. This is some special place. It's meant a lot to him, and we'll see how he does control his adrenaline. Legged out in his last start while pitching in AAA for the Yankees AAA farm team. He had a groin strain in his right groin, so we'll watch for that. He uses his lower half tremendously. And 60-40 after his 40th birthday in 2002 on August 4th, he's got 60 wins in leadership. You know, he's a guy that's really going to, I think, extend that leadership kind of mentality and impart his knowledge amongst the whole group in that clubhouse.
And you see the captain, Derek Jeter, sharing a laugh there with Roger Clemens. So we are ready for baseball. We'll have to find out later what Jeter said that elicited a laugh from both of them. So Bautista is ready, and so is Clemens, and the rocket delivers. And a bunt the other way, and you kind of figure that the Pirates are going to bunt to test out that fatigue groin that he's been dealing with.
Well, the Pirates have been looking for a leadoff hitter for a long, long time. A lot of guys auditioning for Tracy. And today, like yesterday, it's going to be Bautista. So if you're a leadoff hitter, I think you got to be able to do a lot of different things to try to get an offense going. The main thing for a leadoff guy is to get on.
And the 1-1 from Clemens. Outside, 2-1. So Clemens, 44 years old, will be 45 in August. Has spent the 3 previous seasons with the Astros compiling a 2.40 ERA in that time. And Bautista pops it up. Phelps near the seats, and he'll run out of room. The 2.40 ERA over the past 3 seasons is the best in baseball. But Roger did not win as many games as many people thought that he should win. And you see his numbers with the Rockets, or with the Astros, because the Astros averaged just 3.6 runs per start for him. And that was the worst of any pitcher over that time. Just no offensive support at all. He's hoping to get better support with the Yankees.
Well, I think the offense is better than the Houston Astros offense here in New York, and he definitely will benefit from that. If he gives the same numbers that he gave in Houston here in New York, he's going to win a lot of games.
And the 2-2. Driven to deep left field. That is going to be trouble, and that ball is off the wall. No, it's a foul ball. It is a foul ball. Matsui slipped, and it was just foul. The third base umpire, Paul Maurer, right there.
Well, Bautista got out in front of that, looked like a fastball, and it was curving and just curved foul at the last second. There's not a whole lot of, well, that's a split finger, not a fastball. Split fingered fastball is what they call it. And it was diving down and in, and Bautista got the bat out there, and luckily a curved foul.
And the 2-2. Missed outside, 3-2. Clemens in third place on the all-time strikeout list, 1 behind Randy Johnson.
After coming with that split finger inside, he tried to paint away. You see there, he missed a little bit outside.
3-2. And that's a base hit through the right side for Bautista. Now, we talked about this on the pregame show. Roger Clemens has seen it all. He's won 7 Cy Youngs. This is a straight fastball by Clemens. 348 wins. Pitch was up and away. Took it that way. He's 44 years old. Al, do you think there's any butterflies involved right now with Clemens?
I would think so. I think especially first inning for any pitcher. But as you just described with his resume, you would think he would be calm and cool. But This is a big moment, even for Roger Clemens and all of the awards that he's won in his past. You want to do well.
Pitch to Sanchez is inside 1-0.
Well, he knows that everybody in the world is watching this performance right now, and will hear about it through the papers and all the media and print and television. I mean, it's going to be Roger's return, and you see what his career resume is, and that's allowed him to return at the age of 44. Besides the fact that Roger Clemens has a tremendous workout program that has allowed him to compete at this level at his age.
And the 1-0. High fly ball center field. Melky Cabrera step in, now back. And there's one away.
Been a natural progression, and he started in A ball. He went to AA and to AAA, and now on the regular days that he's supposed to be pitching, he's here pitching in the major league level. So the plan that they had put out for Roger, and Roger's plan himself, has gotten him here without too many problems, other than that little weak groin that he has on the right side.
Pitch outside the bay.
And I'm sure that Guidry and Joe Torre, they probably discussed the day before the game, that they're going to leave it up to Roger. I mean, Roger is in control of himself, and if he says that he's had enough, or if he's fatigued a little bit, or the groin feels a little bit sore, it's going to be up to Roger to explain that to them. And one of the things that a pitching coach and a manager does with their pitchers is you have to have a lot of confidence in them to tell you the truth. If they ask you something, and Roger's one of those guys, he will tell you the truth.
Hits the bay, swung on a miss.
Talked about Bay's bad numbers career-wise versus Roger. I think one of the reasons is that Roger exploits the strike zone with Jason Bay because he's such a free swinger. I'd be surprised if the Rocket gives Jason Bay too much to hit. He's the one guy in this lineup that you want to not let beat you.
Count 1-2.
Well, the previous pitch was supposed to be a fastball away. You see there Roger hitting his spot, driving the ball through the zone and staying away on a very good hitter, Jason Bay.
And the 1-2. And that gets away from Posada, allowing Bautista to move to second. You know, with Roger Clemens, there's been very little concession to age. There's a splitter that bounced in front of Posada. He's still a power pitcher, and he's taken a lot of pride in that. And Al, as somebody who came up as a power pitcher, is it hard to believe at 44 that he could still sport that sort of stuff?
No question about it. With the fact that he's won 60 games after 40, still throwing the ball in the low to mid 90s, it's pretty remarkable.
Swing and a miss, and Bay down on strikes, so that ties Randy Johnson for number 2 on the all-time list. And that'll be a back and forth thing all year.
Came back with a split finger. That ball out of the hand of Roger Clemens looks like a fastball, and at the end you see it just dip just slightly. Jason Bay is batting 162 against right-handed pitchers who throw a changeup, and that split finger is very similar to a changeup.
Roger Clemens idle, Nolan Ryan, leads with 57-14. And Clemens and the unit both at 46.05. Here's Adam LaRoche. Line drive to center field. It is a base hit. Charging is Melky Cabrera. Rounding third is Bautista. Here's the throw. It's cut off by Phelps. An RBI single for LaRoche, and the Pirates lead 1-0.
Well, Melky with a good arm in center field. It was just too much with Bautista getting a good jump and lead off at second base, and Melky charging very well, but the throw is off line, and Phelps has to cut it off.
Designated hitter, number 22.
Here's Xavier Nady. This will be the 17th pitch of the inning for Clemens, and he is not on a pitch count, but they will start to watch him closely at 90 pitches. There's a strike.
Well, you were talking about his average innings last year with the Astros, 5.9 innings. He also averaged 95 pitches. Never went past 115 pitches for the Astros last year, and never pitched beyond the 7th inning.
And that's what you get with Clemons. You're hoping that you get 6 solid innings out of him, and then a lot of responsibility for Clemons' start is going to go to the bullpen. You're going to have to get 3 innings out of the bullpen.
Well, the Rocketoe philosophy when he was here with the Yankees the first time was, I'm going to go as hard as I can for as long as I can. I'm not pacing myself. I'm not looking to pace myself. I'm just going to go as hard and as long as I can.
And the 1-1 upstairs.
Well, I think part of that numbers is pitch counts and innings. When you're pitching for a team that's having a tough time scoring, as the Astros did for him, every situation that's a scoring situation, you pitch a little more carefully in the sense that you don't want to throw a pitch that is very hittable. If it is a base hit double or a run score, that you see that as not just a run, you see it as a potential loss. And in doing so, your pitch count gets up, and just as you described, you're not getting as deep into the game. But Roger, at this stage of his career, there's no question you go hard right from the first pitch until you empty the tank.
The 2-2. He struck him out, and he moves ahead of Randy Johnson all alone in second place. But he does give up a run in his first inning back with the Yankees. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. 2 strikeouts as well. It's the Pirates 1 and the New York Yankees coming to bat here on Yes. Well, we go to the bottom of the first inning, and Joe Torre was asked before the game what exactly Roger Clemons brings to the whole party other than pitching.
Roger, just his enthusiasm alone certainly makes you feel good. You know, whatever the result is, you know, here's a guy 44 years old, you know, here for the second time, and it's like this game is brand new for him. And to me, that's pretty special.
Well, this game actually is brand new. It's the bottom of the first inning. The Pirates scored a run in the first against Clemons, and now the Yankees will take their chances against young Paul Maholm. We'll give you the Yankee lineup in just a moment. Johnny Damon leads off. And there's the strike. .13 start for Maholm, 5.35 ERA, more than a hit per inning. And that one is served into left field, a base hit for Johnny Damon. Let's take a look at the entire Yankees starting lineup presented by Rico. You know that Johnny Damon is the DH. He's leading up. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, bats second. Red hot, Bobby Abreu is in right field. An 8-game hitting streak for Abreu. Alex Rodriguez at third, cleans up. Posada will catch. Matsui plays left, batting seventh and playing second. Cano. Josh Phelps back at first, bats eighth. And batting ninth and playing center field is Melky Cabrera. So Gorzolani yesterday did a good job, young left-hander, and now Maholm trying to shut down the Yankees, but Damon leads off with a single. And there is the strike.
Maholm, a kid that induces a lot of ground balls. I mean, he's a sinker ball pitcher, and he's got to be pretty perfect. He's not overpowering like Gorzolani can be with his fastball and utilizing the curveball. But his biggest pitch is the ground ball. Sinker down.
Like that.
Let's take a look at the Land Rover pitcher scatter report to support what Bobby just said. Single-minded in his last 20 starts, only 2 extra base hits to left-handed batters. As Bobby Mercer just said, groundhog. He leads the National League in 14 double plays, and he relies on his defense. He doesn't have an overpowering fastball. You see a lot of change in speed. He throws a little breaking ball and a changeup. He's got 72 in the third innings. He's only got 42 strikeouts.
1-1. There's a strike. Jeter did not like that call. And the 1-2. Just missed. IO Digital Cable is the exclusive official HD sponsor for Yankees telecast on Yes. Just underway here at the stadium. Yankees have won 4 in a row. Pirates scored a run in the first inning off Clemons. And the 2-2. Drilled down the left field line. It is a base hit, and it goes to the wall. Heading to third is Johnny Damon. Bay plays it out in the outfield, fires it in, and Damon will stop at third. It's a double for Jeter, and the Yankees are set up. Second and third, nobody out.
People have been wondering why Derek Jeter is a better hitter now than he was when he first came up. Well, that's the reason why. He's able to hit that inside pitch. And with authority down the left field line, he's also able to take it the opposite way. But Jeter has really worked on that, and right now it's got him hitting .332 coming into this game. You can see Johnny Damon and boy Larry Boa put the brakes on. You can see Larry right there. Johnny Damon, nobody out. So now the Yankees have runners at second and third.
With 2 ground balls, the Yankees could take a lead. That would be to the right side. At least one of them does, this one. But looking for more. There's a ground ball, but back to the pitcher. Checks Damon and fires the first one away. Now, if you're the Pirates, I know it's early. First inning, do you walk A-Rod to set up a double play?
I don't think so. I think you go ahead and pitch to A-Rod, but you pitch to him very carefully, kind of like they were doing last night to Johnny Damon. I mean, it's one of those, I don't know, how do you explain it? It's one of those pitch to him, pitch around him.
It's 0-2 the entire bat. You make the quality pitch, which is expanding the zone, allow the hitter to either swing at your pitch. If he doesn't, you walk him, then you got a double play situation. Too early in the game to be walking. Potentially walking.
It doesn't look good. Looks like you're scared. And you should be.
Count 1-0. Now, Al, when you say it's like you 0-2 all the time, isn't that kind of a cop-out? I mean, what if the pitcher makes a location mistake? And
well, then it's on you. You realize the situation. You have an open base, switch hitter in Posada, but you have an opportunity to make good pitches. If you walk them, so what? Now you got a double play. You got any base force.
Breaking ball strike. They laid that one right over the plate.
Well, it's 2 breaking balls in a row.
If Mahala would be making a mistake if he threw A-Rod anything that was knee-high. It's got to be knee-high down.
At this level, major league pitchers, quality major league pitchers, has the ability to not be defensive, but to make a quality pitch. A quality pitch is a 2-strike pitch and to expand the zone, whether down or off the plate.
Count 2-1.
Yeah, you say that, but the guys that do make the quality pitch, you know, when they're behind in the count, are the guys that you see that are winning every year. Well, not everybody can do that.
You're right, and it's not that easy, but your better pitchers do that.
Yeah,
often.
You're right.
It's a matter of execution of quality pitch.
Damon's at third, and Jeter at second. Infield is still back. The 2-1. And there's a ground ball at third. That's going to get a run in. He thought about going home. Almost missed the play at first. But he does get A-Rod. A-Rod drives in his 57th run, and the game is tied at 1.
Well, last night, Jose Bautista made a mistake in a similar situation where he checked the runner at third base and then actually didn't have enough time, and it was a base hit. A bit of an experienced play last night. He barely got A-Rod there.
Somebody must be yelling at Bautista over there.
That's very odd that he would do that 2 days in a row. And he almost lost the play at first there as he did yesterday. And his play yesterday went a long way toward the Yankees scoring in the 10th inning. Here's Posada. And a breaking ball just missed.
Well, there's one thing that you know right now, I mean, based on the last 2 days, is that if you're a runner, a Yankee runner at third base, and there's a ground ball to Bautista, you can upset him a little bit if you kind of mess around there at third base. So
line drive off the glove of a leaping Wilson into left field. Here comes Jeter. Here's the throw. He's in there. Paulino could not handle the ball. Posada advances to second. It's an RBI single for the Yankee catcher, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
Beautiful swing by Posada, which he has been swinging the bat extremely well. And Jeter with his good speed. I mean, that ball got out there in a hurry. I mean, that was slammed, and Jason Bay put a nice throw there, but Jeter knocked the ball out of Paulino's hand. And when that happened, Posada went on into second base. Wow. The dangerous slide, and yeah, he had not even touched home plate until he went back to touch it the second time. Wow, look at that left ankle. That is, you just keep your fingers crossed because that was very dangerous. That could have been serious.
How about the scoring on that play? They give him a single and RBI, and they give Bay an error, allowing Posada to move to second. That is a tough error. That wasn't a bad throw.
No.
I've always been the big believer that on a play like that, the bang bang play, that you need to, if that catcher is blocking the plate instead of trying to do that there, because you can hurt yourself worse here than running into the guy. I mean, you're better off going ahead and making a collision at home plate because you got the momentum that's pushing you forward. He's just sitting there.
Even if he's like 250?
Even if he's 250.
You're moving 180 causes more damage than a standing 250.
I think so.
And Bobby's right. If you look at that replay, how Jeter's left ankle dangerously tilted, you just worry about that.
Well, what he does is he forces you to slide outside and try to reach back and get it with your hand. And I think Derek thought he could slide closer to the plate, but that was very close to being a serious accident.
Check out his left ankle.
See that there? Watch this here. Whoa. Ooh. Oh, my goodness.
Lucky he has high tops on there.
Oh, my. And he never did reach the home plate. He had to go back and touch it again.
Well, that's what catchers are taught to do. Get up in front of the home plate a little bit. When you get ready for the play, get in front of the runner. You're either going to take it or do what Jeter did and try to slide around it.
Well, Matsui walks. Here's Cano. Cano 13 for his last 35, hitting 268. And there's a strike. Along with Bobby Mercer and Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on Yes on this Saturday afternoon. Yankees lead 2-1 in the first. Ground ball left side, backhanded and off the glove of Wilson into left field. Here comes Posada, and the throw is cut off. Throw to third, not in time. And Cano moves to second.
What was that?
3-1 Yanks. Awful throw by Bay.
Oh, I don't know what that was, but that was not a good play at all. I don't know what happened to Bay there. Either he got caught in between, he was going to throw it home, then changed his mind and just kind of threw a grenade up there. What's Jason Bay? He's going to try to get the guy at home, then all of a sudden he just kind of threw it up in the air and allowed the runner to go to third, and also, more importantly, he allowed the other runner to go to second base. Wow. He was not committed at all.
And Jim Colburn, the pitching coach, goes out and talks with Mahalam. Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward. Well, Roger Clemens is not used to this. As we mentioned, over the past 3 years, the Astros did not score for him, so he gave up a run in the first, and the Yankees have promptly answered with 3 and threatening for more. In his 3 seasons with the Astros, they scored just 3.6 runs per game for him.
Well, I know Al can probably allude to this a little bit better, but I think when you know you have an offense like the Yankees have, and you're Roger Clemens or any other pitcher you go out there, I mean, you go out there with a little looser repertoire, and you know, you don't have to feel like you have to be so fine in order to get everybody up, because you have confidence that your team, if you get a couple runs, they're going to get a couple runs back for you.
Hitting counts, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 counts that are normally where a hitter should drive it. You don't have to be as careful in the sense of having to be on the corners all the time, knowing that if it's a hit and a run, it's not a loss. And when you have a team that hasn't scored for you, as in Houston for Roger, you're thinking the run is a loss and not just a run to make the score closer or make it difficult for your team to come back.
Now, if you're keeping score at home, amazingly, that was just scored in E6. Cano was not given a base hit.
Gotta be kidding me.
No, that was scored in E6. Very odd. Now Clemons has been sitting, and here's the play. You decide.
Well, it hit
his glove. It hit the lip.
It hit the lip of the grass.
That is a terrible call. Well, now they've just changed it back to a single and RBI. Bobby, did you bring your whiteout with you?
My whiteout?
Yeah.
No, I brought my eraser. I can't afford whiteout.
So now Cano is a little happier at second base.
I would be a little happier, and it's the right call.
Now Clemons has been sitting on the bench during this half inning for about 15 minutes. And there's a chopper to Bautista across the diamond, and that will do it. As the Yankees get 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 left. Derek Jeter started the game smiling with Roger Clemens. They're back together, then contributes to this rally with a double and also a run scored. 3-1 Yankees as we go to through the years with Roger Clemens, from Boston to Toronto to the Yankees to Houston, and now back to the Yankees here as he enters his 2nd inning of work, leading 3-1. And the first pitch is upstairs, 1-0. 3-4-0 Yanks, 1-2-1 Pirates. Is there a concern now? 15 minutes on the bench, and you see everything that he's done with the teams that we mentioned. With the Blue Jays, by the way, 2 straight Cy Young awards, and with the Yankees, 2 championships. But the sitting on the bench for 15 minutes, will that affect the groin problem?
No, 15 minutes isn't a half hour, and I don't know too many major league pitchers that wouldn't take a 3 spot in the bottom of the first.
38-18 with his hometown Houston Astros. And here he is starting a 2nd tour of duty with the New York Yankees. Clemens was supposed to pitch on Monday, and then that was termed a fatigue groin. Kind of scratched himself. He called up Joe Torre, said, I don't think I can go. Then worked out, felt okay, and here he is starting here at the stadium against the Pirates. Driven down the right field line, it is a base hit. That'll go to the wall. Played out there by Abreu. And Domit is going to go to second with a double. So leadoff double for Ryan Domit.
Well, Roger getting in a 2-1 fastball count. You see where Jorge Posada's setting up. It's supposed to be outside corner, and that ball was middle in, thigh high, and Ryan Domit got the barrel of the bat out, kept his hands inside, keeping that ball fair. Roger's been settling in right around that 90 mark, 91 mile-an-hour mark. That fastball was 89. Not as overpowering as he's been, but certainly more than enough if he's hitting corners like that.
The pitch to Paulino is a strike. A lot of people have asked, well, why is Clemens not going to spring training with teams? He didn't do it last year with the Astros and this year with the Yankees. And really, well, there are 2 reasons. One, he can do it because he can do whatever he wants because he's Roger Clemens. And number 2, there's a general belief, and I think Roger feels this as well, that he can no longer at his age give you a full 6 months of a season. And 35 starts, the body won't hold up. And he's kind of estimated that, well, starting sometime in June is probably the best chance.
Well, I totally agree with that. And this is
in spring training. Just visiting that.
Yeah. But, you know, there's nobody that knows their body better than the person. So Roger Clemens knows his body, and he knows what he can get out of his body, and it worked for him in Houston. So, like you said, Roger is who he is, and with his resume, he can do whatever he wants to. The people wants his services, they're going to have to kind of go along with what he thinks is right for him.
After the age of 40, he's won 60 games. Phil Niekro with 121. And Paulino down on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout for Clemens.
I mean, every player in the world would love to be able to come back, you know, midway through the season and pick up where they left off.
Roger getting ahead with his fastball, and then he comes back with a fastball that looked like a strike. You saw that two-seam movement, and that was a split that was inside. Ron Polino making a terrible hack on that. That's a tough split finger right there. Outer half, you saw it drop about a foot. That combination that Roger's come up with, fastball split in the latter part of his career, has been devastating at times.
Pitch to Jack Wilson as a strike.
You know, for as much as Roger Clemens still is a power pitcher, today he hasn't touched in that mid-90s. Maybe he will, maybe won't, but that split finger out of the hand looks like a two-seam fastball. It drops as much as it does. Really helped him in the latter part of his career.
Count 0-2.
He's got a great delivery, as good as anybody I've ever seen. Uses his lower half. Excellent. It's all about legs, torso. He talks about, you know, good core, legs, stomach.
The 0-2. And the count 1-2.
Just like a hitter. I mean, a hitter sets his mechanics up with his lower body. You can see how strong the Clemens lower body is. And like Al was saying, he's got a beautiful delivery, and his drop and drive is for a power hitter, power pitcher.
You know, as you get a little older, the stride leg, the left leg here, doesn't go out as far. But you see Roger, usually it's about the height of the pitcher. If you're 6'3" or so, your stride's going to be around 6 feet. The pitchers that throw with lesser velocity have shorter strides. And you saw there with Roger getting out. With his left side getting out of in front.
Today's closed captioning is brought to you by your New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Lexus dealers.
I mean, for Roger to do what he's done, especially in recent times, what he did in Houston, you could say it's National League and it's not as good. He had unbelievable ERA, very low. He still has maintained above average stuff. But you got to have a consistent delivery, consistent release point. And he's done that. He's maintained it because of his work ethic, being strong and maintaining his body enough to be able to repeat a good quality delivery.
The thing they say about older players is they still can play on the field. They never lose that desire, but what they lose is the desire to prepare and put the work in so that they can be successful. And that's what's really startling about Clemens. He works harder than 20-year-olds.
And he has been doing that for many, many years. And that's where, you're right, that's the reason he's able to perform at this level at the age of 44. But Roger's really had no real setbacks, you know, when he has been injured. Most of it's been in the legs, you know, in the groin and the hamstring. So, like you say, that workout that he has been doing for so many years, and not even the 20 or 25-year-olds can do the same type of workout that he does, and that's been the most important to his longevity.
Now, one guy who's taken that workout and run with it is Andy Pettitte.
Andy Pettitte, yeah. And
Andy's become bigger and stronger, but when he was here with the Yankees, sometimes some of the younger pitchers would go out and try to keep up with him, and they would get physically ill in the outfield.
And they would stop.
Right, because they couldn't do it. They just couldn't physically handle it. This will be Clemens' 39th pitch of the game, the 2-2. Driven out into left center field. Matsui is there, and he'll put it away for the second out of the second. It's overcast here at the stadium. The lights are on, and certainly it seems as if rain is in the air. It wasn't in the forecast, but it is certainly overcast.
Well, I think with Roger, he's a fan of the game. He's always been a fan of the game, admired the previous pitchers before him. #1 pick at the University of Texas. He's a baseball player, and when he sees his name, he's 8th all-time in career wins. He's coming up on Kid Nichols, and you put him in the names of Christy Matheson and Grover Alexander, Walter Johnson, Cy Young. That matters to him. You know, you have many different reasons after you establish yourself, and you've been taken care of financially, and you've maintained the success of major league pitchers. You got to have other reasons to keep you going. Most of the time it's about winning championships. All the time, hopefully.
Well, Roger, he respects the game. That's what Al was talking about. There you can see where Roger at 348, looking for 349 tonight. But he respects the game. He respects the uniform, and this has become a ritual now with Roger Clemens. Before he starts every game, he puts a little sweat off his brow on the top of Babe Ruth, and he's appreciative of what Babe Ruth meant to this industry and in this game for so many years, and still does.
And the Yankees have retired Babe's number 3 out there in Monument Park. The 2-1. That splitter's working today.
Yeah.
He calls it Mr. Splitty.
He can call it whatever he wants to call it. This is pretty good splitty. Well, that's the pitch that has revolutionized baseball since Bruce Sutter brought it on when he was with the Chicago Cubs back in the 70s.
Dribbled slowly. Clemens off the mound. Bare hands. Fires. Got him. Clemens quickly off the mound and fired a strike to Josh Phelps to get out of the inning. So the leadoff double is wasted. Off the mound quickly. Legs look fine. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Clemens likes what he sees. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. New York Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Continental Airlines, the official airline of the Yankees. Jeep, a growing lineup of legendary vehicles. And by IO Digital Cable, the leader in HD, and HD is free with IO. Roger Clemens has thrown 44 pitches through 2 innings. And we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Yankees lead 3-1. Melky Cabrera against Paul Maholm. And a bunt, but a bunt foul. It'll be Cabrera, Damon, and Jeter. 9-1-2 in the Yankee order against the Pirates left-hander.
That'll help Melky, because when you do that once in a while, and Melky's a pretty good bunter, and he should show that bunt ever so often. That'll loosen the infield up. He hits a lot of ground balls, and just the fact that they know in the back of their minds that Melky can bunt and bunt for a base hit, it allows him to get more base hits that go through the infield, because they've loosened up a bit.
Count 2-1. That one is punched out into right field. Coming in and diving is Gomit to put it away for the first out. Let's take a look now at the J&R Music and Computer World upcoming schedule. One more game against the Pirates. That's tomorrow on Yes. 1 o'clock start. 12 o'clock is our batting practice show. Then the Angels coming to town. Monday's an off day. Tuesday game is on My 9 at 7. I'm sorry, that's Arizona. I said the Angels. Wednesday at 7, Yes Network. 6 o'clock is the batting practice show on Thursday. Thursday matinee also on Yes, so 1 o'clock first pitch start. And the pitch to Damon is low, 1-0. So the Yankees in the middle of an interleague stretch. After the Diamondbacks, the Mets come into Yankee Stadium. Count 2-0.
The Pittsburgh Pirates are in a stretch of 15 straight games against American League clubs.
Ground ball to first. LaRoche takes it himself, and there's 2 away.
In the National League, if you got 15 consecutive games versus American League clubs, you'll get the overall message that this is a sluggers league over here.
Well, and you mentioned that with the 10-inning game yesterday, we talked about it. National League, you don't need 7 or 8 relievers, and Jim Tracy, the manager of the Pirates, used everybody except 2 of the guys down in his bullpen.
And one of the guys he used had to put on the DL. Solomon Torres yesterday, after the game, put on the DL. Dribbled slowly to short. Jack Wilson charges, and a 1-2-3 inning for Paul Maholm and the Pirates. We played 2 here at the stadium. Yankees lead the Pirates 3-1 on Rocket relaunch day at the stadium. Let's turn back the clock to May 15th, 1984. Roger Clemens' first start. A little younger, a little thinner, facing the Cleveland Indians. Did not get a decision in this game, but he did strike out his first 4 batters in the big leagues. That's Joe Carter there. And Roger Clemens now, 24 years later, here on the mound at Yankee Stadium.
I retired just in time.
Just missed him,
retired in '83, yeah.
5 2/3 against the Indians, 11 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. And 5 days later, he actually picked up his first major league victory. Boy, in this day and age, you see the Coors Light scoreboard, the Yankees leading 3-1. There's no escaping the fact that you're getting older because those pictures are right there. You don't have to thumb through an album. And they're nice and, you know, they're in color. Well, Bobby, when you started, I mean, they were artist sketch, so it's hard to see.
Why were you looking at me? You looked me right in the eye when he was talking about, you know, there's no getting around it when you get older, you know.
Clemens been around so much that he actually faced his pitching coach twice, Ron Guidry, when Guidry was pitching for the Yanks. And they went 1-1 each. And we've shown Al your first year with the Yankees. I mean, do you look at that and go, wow, I really look young?
Yeah, I said, wow, where did the 20 pounds go? Or come from?
And then you can see.
Then I just feel my belly.
3-2.
I think the players were smaller back in those days. I mean, today, you know, back in, I hate to use the word back in those days, but I'm talking about 30 years ago, you know, 40 years ago. They didn't allow them to use weights to get themselves physically fit to play baseball. Today, weights is the biggest part of the game.
And Bautista walks. Let's check out the Dunkin' Donuts team scouting report, and let's take a look at what the Pittsburgh Pirates are all about.
Well, let's take a look at that. 1992, the last time that not only did they make the playoffs, but they had a 500 record. Pirate treasure, what a franchise. Since 1882, they've been a major league team. 7 trips to the World Series, 5 of them they've won. The last one was in 1979 over the Orioles. And 27th, they're 27th in payroll. In this day and age, if you're going to be that low in team payroll, you better have an awfully good minor league system and great player development.
Here's Freddie Sanchez. And you know what else you can't do? If you're going to have a low payroll, you can't make mistakes. You can't trade Oliver Perez for Xavier Nady. You just can't do it. You can't give up a left-handed pitcher who throws 95 miles an hour. Every decision you make has to be correct because you cannot absorb the monetary loss if you make a mistake.
And you have to start with pitching. I mean, we talk about the foundation, you know, of Roger Clemens being the lower part, also with hitters. Well, same thing with an organization. If you can start with pitching and do that, you're going to go a long way.
Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1. And there's 2. 6-4-3 double play as Clemens gets Sanchez to bang to the shortstop Jeter.
Well, a nice hop for Derek and a perfect flip to Cano, and Cano with that strong arm of his. Not too many runners can outrun that ball.
Jason Bay.
Here's Jason Bay. Clemens trying to get through this inning without throwing 22 pitches. That's what he's done in his first 2 innings with 44 total. So he's thrown 10 so far this inning. And the 0-1. Fastball high.
Well, Jason Bay has done something neither Roberto Clemente or Willie Stargell or Barry Bonds did when he played for when they played for the Pirates. Jason Bay is the first Pirate to win Rookie of the Year honor back in 2004.
High fly ball, right field. A 12-pitch inning for Clemens. And he faces the minimum 3 Pirates. No runs, no hits, no errors, and because of the double play, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, 3-1 Yankees. Hey, tomorrow's starting pitchers are brought to you by Verizon Fios. Make the switch to Verizon Fios, TV, internet, and phone. Former Yankee Sean Chacon back in the rotation, 2-0, 3.26, and Tyler Clippard, the youngster who started this 4-game winning streak. He's 3-1 for the Yankees with a very representative 3.60 ERA. Our batting practice shows at noon, and first pitch right around 1:07. So please tune into Yes for the final of this 3-game set. Here's Bobby Abreu against Paul Maholm. And there's a strike. Coors Light scoreboard, 3-4-0 Yankees, 1-3-1 for the Pirates. Al, you see right before Maholm delivers the pitch, kind of shaking his glove. You don't know if he's trying to get the grip on the baseball or if it's a distraction to the batter, but we'll see when he starts to do the windup. What was that? Was that trying to get the grip?
I'll tell you, and I haven't seen him close enough, but I know at this level, and Bobby can help us on this, that there's times when pitchers give away pitches, and maybe the pitching coach or somebody says, hey, you're squeezing on a fastball and you're flaring your glove on a breaking ball. So what you do as a pitcher, you just mess with it. You just wiggle it enough to where if there is something that they're picking up, they're not going to pick it up now.
Abreu flying down the line as Freddie Sanchez just gets him on the ground ball to second.
And there are some coaches that just sit on the bench and are just there to pick something up. And then it's up to the hitter. If a hitter wants to take it, he can take it. I know Joe Carter used to love to want to know what the pitcher was throwing, and somebody could pick something up. Cito Gaston, the manager of the Blue Jays for many years, he was a great guy to pick things up. You know, and the nuance is so small. You know, if you just tilt your glove a little bit. I remember Cito used to say on my slider, I'd pull my hands back toward the second baseman, and on my fastball, I would pick it up toward the first baseman.
That's amazing.
Now, the short 2 years that I played with Mantle, I think Mickey was probably as good as anybody at picking up a flaw in a pitcher, tipping his pitches off. They used to always go to Mickey, you know, and ask him if he saw anything with the starting pitcher, because I mean, just the slightest little flaw, you know what I'm saying? And every pitcher has tendencies. And he can be able to pick up a curveball or, you know, a breaking pitch or a fastball or whatever it is. I mean, there's several different things that they do, and Al's alluded to some of them, but this thing that he does with his glove, we're talking about Maholm,
right?
I think it's just a habit that he's gotten into. I don't think there's anything there to throw anybody off. That's Jim Colburn, the pitching coach, and like Al said, they watch them all the time. They watch the film and make sure they're not tipping pitches. If you remember the last time Andy Pettitte was with the Yankees, there was some talk that Andy was tipping pitches.
Well, that's what I want to allude to. Randy Johnson, his whole career, and Randy got to a point where he knew hitters knew it. Joe McEwing had like 5 hits lifetime, 4 of them home runs, and he knew what was coming. It was pretty blatant. He was a guy that squeezed his glove on a fastball and would just keep it normal fan, what you call fan. The glove would just stay open on his slider. And guys, you saw it. You saw it. It was plain as day.
And Randy knew it, but he wouldn't change.
You know what? I think it got to enough to with Randy where he, you know, it just became something else to think about. And some guys, you know, Randy Johnson, 95 to 100 miles an hour with a slider that drops off back leg on a right-handed batter. He didn't care. When you have that kind of stuff, you can make a lot of mistakes and make up for it as a result of velocity.
A-Rod works the walk along with Bobby Mercer and Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the Yankees lead the Pirates 3-1 here on a Saturday afternoon. You know, some teams, really good teams, will scout themselves. They'll send scouts to their games so they could see if a scout can pick up any tendencies on his team. Sometimes it's really smart to scout yourself.
Yeah, and another thing is the third base coach can pick up what the pitcher is throwing to and relay a message to the hitter, because he sees a lot of times you can see the grip when he goes in to grip the baseball to throw it. The third base coach can and either whistle or get on his knee or whatever it is to tip the hitter off.
Yeah, that I have a problem with. In between the lines, that's okay. I think you just...
Well, you better do it very discreetly, otherwise you're going to get hurt.
Now, Randy, as Al said, has been tipping pitches for a long time. He's done okay in the comparison with Randy and the Rocket. And, you know, Randy was here last year. Rocket's here this year. They're very close in strikeouts.
You said he did okay?
Yeah, he did okay. 5 Cy Youngs, 2 no-hitters. He's 17 away from the magic 300. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Posada could not hold up 1 and 2. And you mentioned Pettitte. in Game 6 of that series against the Diamondbacks 2001. I think they lost 10-0, and a lot of people felt that Andy was tipping his pitches.
Well, you know, Randy Johnson, when he was here with the Yankees, they watched him very closely because the way he was being hit, you know, with his fastball and his slider, they thought that people were picking pitches up.
Well, Bobby, it was so blatant, and having played with him a little bit that year in 05, you know, I'd sit on the bench here at Yankee Stadium, your first base side, so it's very easy to see the left-handed pitcher as you see this view from here from the first base camera well, and you could see his glove, and it was obvious. Every pitch, I called it. So
runner goes, throw to second, not in time, and Paulino throws out runners at about a 43% clip. So A-Rod got a good jump on Mahalam, and Paulino had no chance.
And he got a good pitch. You saw the tremendous jump there. Forget about it. He was taken off, and there's certain little nuances that a pitcher will show. You saw A-Rod was almost a running start. No chance. And as you said, Michael, 43%. Ronnie Paulino's got a very, very good strong arm. Good catcher.
Now, Randy Johnson, who's on the Diamondbacks again, Yankees traded him during the offseason. He's not even coming to New York for the trip.
Oh, he's not?
No. You know, they talk about Clemons' family plan. And I believe that Randy has already missed 3 road trips. In game, you know, series that he's not pitching. He just doesn't go. He didn't come to Shea Stadium. Maybe he didn't want to deal with any camera crews on the street. That was an inauspicious beginning for him here with the Yankees. Tom Glavine, I think, has missed a couple of road trips for the Mets, and you might agree or disagree with Clemons having the family plan, but others kind of have a very quiet family plan that sometimes they don't have to take road trips. As Posada goes down swinging 2 away.
Well, you know, personally, I wouldn't have a problem with Roger Clemens and the family plan. If we know that, or at least I would feel from a teammate of Clemens, that the fact that I feel like he's given his all, and we got a good chance to win with him out there. And if we don't see him until the day he pitches, that'd be fine with me as a player.
Here's Hideki Matsui.
Not everybody can do that.
You know, people don't realize this, Bobby, but I also have a family plan. It's just with my cell phone.
Yeah, I understand. And your
BlackBerry,
email,
yeah.
BlackBerry, because you email and you take emails, and I mean, you're working all the time, even when you're working.
That's why I need the family plan. It's cheaper. The 1-0. Grounded towards second. Sanchez is right there, and that will do it. Here in the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 3 at the stadium. Yankees 3 and the Pirates 1. The second coming of Roger Clemens to the Bronx. Those were the first 3 innings, and it comes out to Yankees 3, Pirates 1. And we go to the 4th inning. Adam LaRoche, who singled in a run in the first inning, will lead off against Clemens. And there's a strike. Clemens got to the ballpark very early today. He met with Joe Torre and Ron Guidry for about, I guess, 40 minutes behind closed doors. Then spent a lot of time in the trainer's room. And then he walked out to his locker. Same spot as his locker was when he was here the first time. And I was standing there with Bob Clappish, a writer for The Record in New Jersey. And he said, hey, guys, I can't talk. I've got to get my brain together for the game. So he gets into a mindset. It's almost he almost brings a football mentality to baseball. Heard a story when he was in Tampa. You know, he pitched the A-ball game in Tampa. He worked so much with the young pitchers that were down there, and it was such value to guys like Phil Hughes and Jober Chamberlain and a lot of the youngsters, a lot of the young power pitchers as well. Bobby and I heard a story today that he had about 5 or 6 pitchers, and he was standing in front of a mirror, and he was trying to show them exactly how to generate power, and he couldn't get the words right on how he wanted to convey it.
Yeah.
So he said, wait a second, guys. So he gets them all around a phone, and he calls up Nolan Ryan. And Nolan Ryan over the speakerphone puts it into words on how to do it, and that's the value that he's bringing to these young players in the Yankee system. And yeah, he was getting ready at A-ball, AA, and AAA. But imagine if you're a kid whose dream is to make the big leagues, And it's almost like learning to pitch from Picasso or learning to paint with Picasso in front of you. And Roger Clemens is very giving of his time with these young players. Strike 3 as LaRoche goes down looking. Strikeout number 4.
Yeah, we had a shot of Tyler Clippard, who's going to be pitching tomorrow. He's following Roger Clemens. I had a chance to visit with Tyler today in the clubhouse. And I was asking him, I said, have you ever met Roger Clemens? And he said, no, I've never met the Rocket. He said, that's one of the things I want to try to do today is to get a chance to say hello to Roger. And I said, you think you'll learn something from him? He said, you know, I sure hope so. I feel very confident in that. He said, but I'm really looking forward to meeting Roger.
He's getting an up-close look at him, and he's going to follow him in the rotation. What a thrill for a 22-year-old kid. 80 fouls it back.
And I was telling him just what you were saying about that story there. I said, well, Tyler, don't be bashful. I said, Roger is here to help you, too. I said, you just watch him, and if you got something you need to ask him, I said, just tap him on the shoulder and ask him. He'd be more than happy to relay whatever information or experience that he has about doing certain things.
I think he enjoys it, Bobby. He doesn't even look at it as an imposition.
He does enjoy it.
I was lucky enough this winter. I hosted a St. John's baseball benefit at the New York Athletic Club, and he's friends with the St. John's baseball coach. And I was in the room as he talked to their baseball team, and he spoke for an hour off the cuff, and the kids just ate it up. I mean, you're listening to Roger Clemens. Pitch is high, and imagine having, you know, Nolan Ryan on speed dial.
Yeah,
pretty nice.
Speed dial, huh?
Speed dial.
2 power pitchers.
Yeah.
Speed
there
dial.
you go. 27 years, Nolan Ryan, 24 for Clemens. That's 51 years of experience you're getting. Now, Al, I know you have Sandy Koufax on speed dial. That's a pretty big deal.
Well, you know, as I'm listening to you guys, I thought about one of the spring trainings with the Mets in Port St. Lucie, and Sandy Koufax is friends with Fred Wilpon, the owner of the Mets. Sandy came around. He was sitting with, I think, John Franco and I, and we just started talking about curveballs or something. And before you know it, I was unaware of it because we were just captivated, as you described it, with Roger in Tampa.
There's a base hit up the middle for Nady.
And we turn around, not kidding, there's about 25 people. We pulled up chairs, and Sandy was just doing his thing. And it was just so neat. It was one of those moments that I'll never forget. You freeze it and realize that how, you know, another guy, Sandy, who is so wonderful with people and wanting to give his information and knowledge, like Roger, what he does in wanting to help. Not only to young players, to anybody. Here's a guy who's going down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest pitcher. You can learn from him. I don't care if you're Mike Mussina or Andy Pettit or Tyler Clippard.
Ryan Doumit, there's a strike. And there are some players, I mean, we're not going to try to paint everybody with the same brush. There are some veterans that don't want to be bothered. You know, they want to, it's their job. They want to pitch. They want to do their job, and they're not there to be a teacher. They're not a coach. But Clemens really seems like he enjoys it. He wants to pass on the knowledge. He does it with his 4 sons, and he tries to do it with the young players that he's around all the time. He did it with the Houston Astros, same deal. There's that splitter in the count 0-2.
Well, you know, the Rock is very much a family man, and I think he, you know, the team that he plays for, those teammates are his family, and so he treats them basically the same way he'd treat his own family.
Saw Clemens at 70 pitches right now here in the 4th inning. Runner on first base. They're not holding Nady. His legs are bothered by hamstring problems. And Doumit goes down swinging. 5 strikeouts for Clemens. Let's take a look at the Aflac trivia question here in the top of the 4th inning. I'm sure it's going to be about the Rocket. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just guessing. Let's see if the Duck knows. Jorge Posada has caught 138 games for Clemens. Who is the only other catcher to have caught 100+ games for Clemens? I think I know the answer to this, but we can't guess. I'm allowed to guess.
Just guess the wrong answer?
No, because then I'll mislead our viewers. Pitch is inside the Paulino. I think the answer, I'll give a clue though, that person is in the ballpark today.
Stop right there. It's too much information.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Roger so far has shown a very good split finger. You saw the previous at bat against Ryan Doumit. Just 3 splits in a row. There it is again. His velocity's right in that upper 80 range, a little bit less than what people have seen in the past, but he's spotting it. You see good movement, but that split finger, this ball coming out of his hands, look at that. That's a great shot right there. Split finger in between the 2 seams. It tumbles out. Looks like a fastball. about 7 miles an hour slower than his fastball.
Are you alarmed at all, Al, that the velocity is 89?
No, you know what? It looks like he's just kind of. I don't want to. I know he's an all-out guy and he's going to empty the tank, but it doesn't look like he's really forcing anything. I don't know how you see that, Bobby, but you know he's just real calm and good fluid delivery. He's not overthrowing. I think he's aware that the velocity isn't in the low 90s, and when you recognize that, you are so much more conscious of hitting your spot, locating the ball, keeping the ball down.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to be struggling to try to get the ball over. You know, we've seen Roger at times miss outside, miss high like he did there, miss inside, not able to even get close to the strike zone, and that's when you see him struggling a little bit, sweating and walking around the mound.
3-1. Fouled the other way. Abreu gives it a look, but runs out of room. It's not uncomfortable here at the stadium. It's 78 degrees. There's a little bit of a breeze and slight wind blowing. You look at the flags over the stadium. They're blowing from left to right. That doesn't mean that's the way they would affect play, but that's certainly the way the flags are flapping. And the lights have been on since the first inning, so it's somewhat overcast. It's not an overly humid day. Runner goes, and it's fouled away. Runner will go again. That's Nady at first. 2 outs and a 3-2 count on Paulino. Just missed outside. So Paulino walks, and the Pirates have runners on first and second with 2 outs.
Yeah, this ball is just off the plate. Roger yanked it a little bit. You see the ball cutting off the outside corner. And Ronnie Paulino's previous at bat, he was in a similar count. And Roger threw a little split finger. Roger trying to paint the outside corner, just missed.
So here's Jack Wilson. 3-1 Yankees lead, top of the 4th. And the pitch outside, 1-0. He's been right around 90 all day. At the beginning of the game, watching the gun, he was about 92, and that's with the adrenaline kicking in, but he's calmed down just a bit, so he's about 90, 89, 90, but the splitter is also in the upper 80s, so that's what makes it such an effective pitch. 79 pitches for Clemons, and Torrey said yesterday that he's going to start looking at about 90, start paying attention at 90. He is not on a pitch count. The 1-0. 2-0.
Well, you mentioned about a pitch count and the 90 pitch mark. These last few pitches, he left the ball up. And that's usually the first sign of somebody getting a little tired. And as much as Roger uses his lower half, it's an indication that he's perhaps a little tired.
There's a strike. Took a little something off that fastball to count 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. Driven out to right field. Fairly deep, backing up Abreu. It's over his head, and one hop up against the wall. Nady scores. Paulino rounds third. He will score. It's a 2-run double for Jack Wilson, and we are tied at 3.
Well, it appeared that Bobby Abreu was going to catch up with his fly ball to gap in right center field. That's a slicing line drive into right center, and the ball normally is coming back to the outfielder, and Abreu just could not catch up with it.
I don't know whether Bobby thought off the bat of Jack Wilson. It wasn't hit as firmly and as hard as it was, because his initial first step seemed to be directly toward center field as opposed to toward the wall. It had a little slicing effect, and it just kept sailing.
So here's Chris Duffy. Duffy hit that inside the park home run yesterday, a 2-run home run. Gave the Pirates a 4-2 lead. Talked to Pettit about it today. He said, I turned, and once I saw Melky take a step in, I knew he was in trouble. He said, because I could tell as a pitcher how hard that ball was hit. He said, and the balls were traveling yesterday. That one doesn't travel. It goes right into the glove of Phelps, and that's going to do it here in the 4th inning. But the Pirates score 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 man left. They played 3.5. It's a 3-3 game. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 3-3 game. Let's take a look at the Aflac Trivia answer. It's about Posada catching 138 games for Clemons. Who's the only other catcher to have caught 100-plus games for Clemons? I think it's Tony Pena. Let's see. It is 111 games. Tony Pena, the Yankee first base coach. And that was when Roger and Tony were with the Red Sox. Cano leads off against Mahalam. It's a new game. It's 3-3. 3-5-1 for the Pirates and 3-4-0 for the Yankees. Bottom of the order for the Yankees, Cano, Phelps, and Cabrera. Popped up behind the plate and out of play. Cano with an RBI single off the lip of the grass by shortstop. That was in the 1st inning. His 29th ribby. Toward the end of last year, I think the last 54 games, Cano averaged about an RBI a game, which is a great number for a guy at the bottom of the order. And Cano started this season really struggling, really laboring, but he has pushed the average up to 271. The 2-1. There's a breaking ball strike.
Well, he is an exciting player. I mean, this kid here has got a long ways to go. His potential is wide, and certainly his hitting potential. The one thing that a lot of young players do, and it's just part of learning, is that you got to be more patient at home plate. You got to give yourself a better chance. I mean, you know, when you fail 70% of the times anyway, you got to give yourself a better chance to get a base hit and be successful.
Samsung's 4 Seasons of Hope and Joe Torre have teamed up to make a difference in the community. For every Yankees home run hit at home this year, Samsung will donate $1,000 to Joe Torre's Safe and Home Foundation to help end the cycle of domestic violence. You can join the team and support Samsung's Home Run for Kids by visiting fourseasonsofhope.com or joetorre.org, because a little hope can make a big difference. The pitch to Phelps is low, 1-0. Phelps grounded to third. That was in the 1st. Yankees scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning, and that is all that Mahalam has given up. And the 1-0. Got to be a tough call for Torre not to use Cairo every day the way Cairo's been playing, especially defensively. But he likes what Phelps could do offensively. He knows he sacrificed something glove-wise, and Phelps picks up a single right there.
He also knows that he's got to get his bench players in there every once in a while, too. I mean, you know, Cairo has been playing consecutive games, but Phelps had been playing a lot over at first base before Cairo got in there, and it was Minkevich and Phelps that was kind of platooning back and forth to first base.
Doug Minkevich, who had played the majority of the games, was actually in the Yankee clubhouse today, and he has a cast on his broken wrist, but head-wise he's fine. He really got roughed up in that game against the Red Sox, running into the thigh of Mike Lowell. Well, Mike Lowell ran into him, head snapped back, but he's okay in terms of a concussion. But now he's just got to wait for the wrist to heal. Should be about 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks.
Scary incident.
He's going to get a pin inserted on Tuesday.
Really?
And that's going to speed up the healing, they say.
I really, when I looked at that replay, I never really thought of anything about the wrist. You know, I was only worried about the neck and the head.
I think the wrist initially got hurt in a play at second base, and he was playing with it, and then it actually got roughed up again in the collision at first base. And he had been playing really an unbelievably beautiful first base defensively. I mean, some of the things that he was doing with the glove. He's a Gold Glove winner in 2001 But his hitting was starting to come around. He got some big hits, and now he gets shut down. And this is the play, and it's a scary play. Just watch the way his head jerks. Oh.
Wow.
Tough.
I thought at that time there's a possibility he could have broken his neck.
And there's the cast we're talking about. So his right wrist obviously in the cast, and all he can do is be a spectator now. And every player that you talk to say there's nothing more helpless than to be on the disabled list. You're part of the team, but you're kind of an outcast. There's very little you could do. It's kind of like the kid peering into the candy store with his nose pressed up against the window. Can't get any candy. The 3-1. Line drive, left field. And it's a nice play by Bay, taking a base hit away from Cabrera as Phelps heads back to first.
Wow, nice play by Jason Bay on that shoe top line drive catch. This is the second time that Yankees hit the ball hard. He's come up with nothing. Last time he was robbed in right field. Good play by Bay there.
Now, Al, when you give up just a screaming line drive like that, you turn around and a great play is made behind you. What's it feel like? I mean, you just feel like you escaped something?
I show no emotion.
No, I've always thought that with you on the mound.
You know, you give up a rocket and you're just hoping, and when it is a great play like that, you just realize you got one. You got it. It probably and should have been and could have been a hit, and your defense came through for you.
You ever think about that guy better make the catch, because if it gets by him, there's going to be a lot of running around these bases.
Well, fielders don't mind if you show emotion, obviously, with the great play, but they absolutely cannot stand when a pitcher shows up if they make an error. They hate it, and you're not supposed to do it. The 1-2.
Yeah, I played with a couple of them, Dave Steve and Jack Morris. They weren't afraid of just turning around and giving the what's that all about, which is completely wrong, because pitchers, it's hard enough and you're going to make plenty of mistakes as a pitcher, and you're going to need your defense. It's the worst thing you could ever do is turn around and show up your defense. The worst. They're there trying their best.
Swing and a miss, and Damon down on strike. So the Yankees have not been able to click against Mahalam after that first inning. No runs, a hit, and one man left. We go to the fifth inning. It's 3-3 at the stadium.
Hi, everyone. Bob Lorenz in our studios with the Nissan update. Don't forget, we'll have full Rocket coverage today on the postgame, and then tomorrow, 11:30, it's an all-new edition of Yankees on Deck. It's David Justice and Joe Girardi. You know what it is? It's Emmy-winning. It's lots of fun. It's a little something we like to call TV magic, kind of like listening to Bobby, Al, and Michael Kay.
Oh, would you stop? It's unbelievable. He doesn't have a game going on, Bobby, so he's doing that on the update.
You look for some of that candy you were talking about.
Yeah. 84 pitches for Clemons, and he had a rough fourth inning, 28 pitches. He struck out 5, and this is the Rocket relaunch. His second tour of duty with the Yankees. Bautista leads off, and the pitch is high, 1-0. The Corona Extra scoreboard has a 3-3 tie, 3-5-1 Pirates, 3-5-0 for the Yankees. You would assume, unless it's a very short inning, that this will be Clemens' final inning, because I don't think they're going to him much past 100.
No, we've been talking about how Roger looks like he's not really maxing out his effort. You know, remember, this is it's his 4th start coming out. He had 3 starts in minor league starts, A-ball, AA, AAA. This would put you in middle way through March. He did have the groin problem, which would have a lot of reason as to why he's not pushing off the backside as much as he normally would.
Well, let's take a look at the 5 strikeouts that he's had, Al.
Well, let's see right here. He's shown a real good split finger. There it is. Down and away to Jason Bay. Very good hitter. Xavier Nady. I think both of those guys are their best hitters. Ronnie Polino, another split finger. Here's a painted fastball away on Adam LaRoche. Another split finger. So, what to expect, what not to expect. He's got to be careful to not aggravate his groin. I won't say he's pitching gingerly, but definitely has to be conscious of his groin and locate his pitches.
There's been a lot of questions about how is Roger going to translate from the National League, where he had a 2.3 ERA or 2.4 ERA over the last 3 seasons, now to the American League that has the DH, and he catches a little bit of a break because his first 2 starts are against National League teams. Obviously this one against the Pirates, and then you've got his next start is going to be against the Mets, and he's going to have 5 days rest rather than 4. Then it's June 21st. He has another 5-day rest, and that's going to be against Colorado. And then June 27th with 5 days rest against Baltimore. So his first 4 starts, he has extra rest, and 3 of them are against National League teams.
And I think it's fitting here, starting at Yankee Stadium, him giving himself that extra time, not pitching in Chicago. This Pittsburgh Pirate team is not a great team by any stretch. Although, as we talk about that, Freddie Sanchez, who's batting right now, is the National League batting title leader last year at .344. The Pirates do have some good hitters and some good players, but as a collective unit, they're just not quite there yet.
Now, also with Clemons, you worry about his age. How is he going to finish a season? Well, because he's starting later, he should have more in the tank toward the end of the season, and his numbers last year would indicate that's the case. Chopper to third, A-Rod. Now, last year he started June 22nd. Today, obviously, is June 9th, but in the second half of the season last year, he had an ERA of 2.18, and in September, he had an ERA of 2.33. So he did not tire, and he keeps the ball in the ballpark. Last year, he gave up just 7 home runs, 3 of them with runners on, and only 1 of them with a 2-strike count. So he knows how to pitch. Not only does he have good stuff, but he now has the wisdom of 24 years on the mound. And there's a strike.
Well, he pitches to the hitter, and he also pitches to the situation. He knows who the best hitters are in the lineup, and he knows when those situations come up what he needs to do. When you get in your 2-0, your hitters count 3-1. It could be the split finger to one guy and a fastball to another guy.
And the 1-1. High fly ball, deep left, but it's in the park. Matsui battling the sun, getting an angle, and he makes the play for the final out of the inning. You can see the sun glinting off his glasses, which are on top of his hat, not on his eyes. But he was battling, angling, getting away from the sun, and making the play. A 1-2-3 inning. We are halfway through. At the end of 4.5 at the stadium, it's a 3-3 game on Yes. Hey, Yankee fans, get another chance to see all the big hits and great plays another time around with WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore later after each game, and again the next morning at 9 only on Yes. Derek Jeter will lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees and the Pirates are tied at 3, and there's some movement in the Yankee bullpen. Nobody's throwing just yet, but they could be momentarily. And the pitch outside, 1-0. On the Corona Extra scoreboard, it's 3-5-1 for the Pirates and 3-5-0 for the Yanks.
Well, coming into this game, Paul Maholm, the Pirates pitcher, statistics-wise, isn't doing well. Obviously a 2-8, 5.35, but he's changed his speeds enough to get the Yankee hitters a little bit off their timing. There you see a 2-0 changeup. Like last night, Tom Gorzelani, who pitched, I thought, very well, 6 1/3 innings last night, 4 runs. Gorzelani, I thought, had a little better stuff velocity-wise. Mahalam is changing its speeds enough effectively to get the timing disrupted on these Yankee hitters so far.
I think you see it more and more. First time a team faces a pitcher, it really takes a while. And the Yankees always seem to struggle the first time, especially with youngsters. These guys are young, but they've been around a little bit, so they know how to pitch and really exploit the fact that the Yankees don't know them. Yankees are much more comfortable with a great pitcher that they've seen a lot than a mediocre pitcher that they haven't seen at all. And that's been that way through the years. Even with a different team, it just seems like great hitters like to know what they're facing, like to know what to expect.
And it's kind of a role reversal, because when you haven't seen a young pitcher ever before, you know, it's the second time through the lineup, the third time in the lineup, through the lineup. But actually, Mahalam, since the first inning, he has gotten better, you know, from the second, third, and fourth inning.
Now, Mahalam has faced the Yankees in spring training. That's like 2 innings at a time. But he's never faced them in a big league game. And it's fouled back. Still 3-2 on Jeter. Jeter doubled in the first inning, scored a run. Bobby Abreu was on deck. And Jeter works a leadoff walk. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Yankees could start the runner with Abreu at the plate. He hits the ball the other way. And that one's fouled back. Probably missed that one. Like the bat.
Got a big hole between first and second. I would be surprised if Abreu's not looking for something that he can pull over there, even though that's not really his style, but take advantage of that real estate.
That time showed bunt, count 1-1. Bobby was showing bunt a lot when he was struggling.
Yes, he was. And that's a sure sign that you're not comfortable, that you don't have a lot of confidence in what you're supposed to be able to do when you are at the plate. Several times he would bunt him with men in scoring position, and he was the third hitter in the lineup.
And he takes it the other way through the left side for a base hit. So the Yankees have runners on first and second for Alex Rodriguez, and also extends Abreu's hitting streak to 9 straight.
Well, he's got that. I asked the hitting instructor Long about how Abreu, if he did this in Philadelphia, you know, he's got that tendency to pull off the ball. But that's just his natural style of hitting. But he kept his hands back. He pulls off a little bit, but he kept his hands back on that pitch there that was kind of out and away from him, and lined it sharply to left field. Nice piece of hitting.
A-Rod, an RBI and a ground out in the first, his 57th ribby. Then he walked and stole a base in the third. Now Alex never got the chance to play with Roger Clemens. His first year here was Clemens' first year with the Astros. The only time they played together was on the World Baseball Classic United States team, and I was on that team as well. I know you talked glowingly about that team, Al, that it was a great experience.
It was. It was, well, I backed into it. I think 9 guys got hurt, and I begged enough, so I know they could have had a handful of others, but it was an honor, and it was special to be part of a room and a team as great as the players that were assembled for the Team USA.
the 2-0.
Must have been a lot of tension in that room, huh? Veteran players that are stars and superstars.
No, it was contrary. It was what an enjoyable experience, and Buck Martinez was the manager. I think of Rogers' last game, he pitched a stellar performance in Anaheim, which was the quarterfinal. We beat Mexico. We go on to the finals, and I think he went 7 innings, 1 run, and I don't know who was pitching for the Mexican team, but Team USA didn't get any runs.
Count 3-1 as A-Rod was taking. Jeter's on second, Abreu was at first. 3-3 game, bottom of the 5th inning here at Yankee Stadium.
Becomes a big pitch of this game right now at 3-1 count. 2 men out, 2 men on, nobody out.
And A-Rod walks. So a walk, a single, and a walk, and the Yankees have the bases loaded and nobody out. And Jim Colburn will come out and talk with Mahalam, and the Yankees have the batter up that they want up with the bases loaded. Why? Because Jorge Posada this year has 8 hits in 11 at-bats with the bases loaded.
Pretty good number. Even his style, Posada's style of taking batting practice now is a little bit different than what he had done in the past, because Posada is so comfortable and confident in everything he's doing, you know, and Jeter and Posada kind of, you know, you have a little fun when you're taking batting practice, and Jeter would say, well, hit one to the right side, hit one to the left side, hit one in the air, hit one on the ground. So, you know, you just, well, it's really a wonderful feeling when you're confident in yourself to be able to go to the plate and know that you're going to be able to hit the ball hard someplace.
And historically, Jorge Posada has always been a great fastball hitter. The scout report was you throw him any big breaking balls and changeups he wasn't as good on. This year, the numbers are almost flipped. He's batting nearly 400 on off-speed pitches. Really staying back and letting the ball track deep in the zone.
We saw Tony Armas beginning to throw in the Pirate bullpen. Now Posada hitting .360. There's Tony. And that's second in the American League to Maglio Ordonez. Driven the other way, giving chase is Domet. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Jeter, and he will score. Sac fly for Posada, and the Yankees take a 4-3 lead.
Well, I think Ryan Domet did all he could do, but the speed of Derek Jeter helped with that right there. So
Derek having a little stutter step in that sprint home.
You know what else is unusual, and we commented on it before? Polino just stands there blocking the play without the ball.
Yeah, well,
Jeter kind of like had to decide what to do.
Well, I mean, Polino right at the last minute stuck his left foot out there, too.
Good way for a catcher to get hurt. Good way for a runner to get hurt.
Oh, the runner for sure.
Yankees up 4-3. Here's Matsui, and there's a strike. Standing right on the plate.
And what's his left foot right there?
Some might say that's not clean, especially if you don't have the ball.
Unwritten rule.
We've heard about that recently.
Mike Sochi used to do that all the time, didn't he?
They all do it.
Nothing unclean about that.
Nope.
Polito's a guy that'll stand on the plate if you want to knock him into the dugout. Go ahead.
Yeah.
There's a strike. Mike Sochi was one of the best at blocking the plates. There's Brian Bruni. By the way, the Yankees roster move in order to get Clemons on the 25-man was they sent down Chris Britton to Scranton Wilkes-Barre, their AAA team, and to make room for him on the 40-man roster, they moved Phil Hughes from the 15-day disabled list to the 60. So when you're on the 60, they could move you off the 40 without risking losing you. Hughes was nursing that hamstring problem, then turned an ankle, so his arrival date is still very much in the future.
Yeah, that's not good news when they move you to the 60-day. And well, I tell you what a setback it is for not only Phil Hughes but the Yankees. I mean, this young man is sitting right on the brink of becoming something very special here. I did that game down in Texas when he was pitching the no-hitter and he pulled his hamstring. And if he hadn't pulled his hamstring, I'm almost positive the stuff that he had that night and the command that he had on all of his pitches, he was going to pitch a no-hitter.
Well, it does set him back a whole year of experience.
Yeah. And he had built up to that. You know, each time he was getting better, and he had built up to that, and then now you got to start all over again.
2-2. Foul back. Now, the one way that it could be a positive is if he does get back in August. You know, there was some concern that the Yankees had to call him up earlier than they wanted to because of all the injuries, and that he was going to surpass the innings total that they had wanted for him. Now that's not going to be a problem at all. So if he comes back in August, the middle of August, he could just pitch as hard and go as long as he needs to go and not worry about reaching any new plateau pitch-wise. And also give him a couple months with Clemons. The 2-2. Matsui hanging in there.
But you also got to look at it this way. He had built himself up, you know, to where he was really a competitor and maybe going to be a big part of this scene here. And it takes a while, even if you come back in August, to be able to do that. And by the time he gets that momentum going again, maybe it's going to be the end of the year.
Pirates recognizing Bobby Abreu's getting a pretty good secondary lead at second base, and very important, obviously, a base hit on the ground to the outfield. If the runner at second base gets a good secondary lead, it's much easier for Larry Bowa to wave him home.
2-2. That could be two, but it's bobbled by Wilson, and the out is made at second. A-Rod went in hard, but the force just made as Abreu moves to third and Matsui reaches on the fielder's choice.
Besides this ball being hit hard, I think Abreu kind of blocked out Jack Wilson a little bit at shortstop, and he was able to knock it down and still make the play at second base. But you can see that Abreu, I think, had a little bit to do with that too, trying to block him out. And he just never got the ball in the glove.
Here's Cano. Runners on first and third. And the count is 1-0.
What that does is that this gives you another out in the inning. That should have been a double play, and the Pirates should have been out of this inning, but now Cano still gets to hit with 2 men on.
Mahalam at 96 pitches. Yankees looking to snare their 5th win in a row. Popped up and out of play on the left side. Cano scored the winning run in the 10th inning yesterday. 5-4 Yankee victory on a dribbler to the right side by Jeter. An infield single, a walk-off infield single. The 1-1. Slice the other way, foul. Tony Armas Jr. is ready. And the 1-2 over the head of Cano.
Just a breaking ball that kind of slipped out of Mahalam's hand, and you'll see it right there. He just got underneath it.
Well,
Robbie able to duck underneath it.
Mahalam knows that with Josh Phelps on deck and Armas ready, that this will be his last batter. Whether he gets him out or not, I believe at 100 pitches, he's kind of labored a little bit. He's about done.
This will be pitch number 100. And it's driven out to fairly deep center. Chris Duffy is there. He'll put it away for the final out of the 5th. But the Yankees take the lead. 1 run, 1 hit, and 2 men left. 5 in the books. 4-3 Yankees. His 4th try for his 300th victory. This one against the St. Louis Cardinals. Also in this game, he picked up his 4,000th strikeout, and then had a sit and watch as Mariano Rivera closed it out and got Miguel Cairo for the final out. Clemons receiving a huge ovation from the crowd, and since that time he has gone on to win 48 more games. So he's in line now to win his 349th as he comes out to start the 6th. Adam LaRoche will lead off. Pitch is high, 1-0. 3-5-1 Pirates, 4-6-0 Yankees. LaRoche drove in a run in the first inning against Clemons. Foul bat, 1-1.
Adam LaRoche, the son of Dave LaRoche, who used to pitch for the Yankees, better known as the La Lob that Dave came up with to try to get hitters out back in his day. Adam hit 32 home runs last year.
Ground ball to second.
They made a big trade bringing Adam LaRoche over here. They wanted somebody to try to back up Jason Bay in this lineup, but he's gotten off to a real slow start.
The designated hitter,
99 pitches for Clemons, 62 strikes, 30 through 2 balls. If you keep the score at home, there's been a scoring change. First inning for the Pirates, instead of giving an error to Jason Bay on the throw, give an error to Paulino, mishandling the throw. So it's an E2 when Posada had that RBI single to left field, not an E7. They just changed that. The 0-1. And the count 0-2. Along with Bobby Mercer and Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. We thank you for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. Roger Clemens, second go-around with the Yankees. His first start today, and he's in line for a victory. Has not been outstanding, but certainly has been representative on the mound as the Yankees lead 4-3. And it seems like he's getting better as the game moves on. So that is strikeout number 6 for Clemens.
Well, what Roger is doing today is, even though I don't know if you expect him to have the greatest stuff in the world his first time out, but he has gave the Yankees a chance to win. I mean, that's all you ask for from your starting staff anyway, is just to give yourself a chance to win.
Well, that pitch right there has been his best pitch of the day. He's been throwing a very good split finger fastballs. Nady couldn't get down low enough on top of that ball.
Here's Ryan Domit. He doubled to right and then struck out. And there's a strike. That's been his fastball today, 89-90. But the splitter has certainly offset a little bit lower velocity. And the 1-1.
And Roger knows that, the importance of getting ahead. Of the 23 batters he's faced so far, 12 first pitch strikes. Of those, 10 of them resulting in outs. Which is what pitchers are supposed to do, get ahead and put hitters on the defensive. And with that split finger, it's making these Pirate hitters not look like major league hitters.
And the count is level at 2-2.
I heard what Joe said before the game. He said, I'm going to let Roger dictate what he wants to do. I mean, he knows himself better than we do at this point.
He foul tips the ball to stay alive. Big cut by Domit.
We saw Roger shake off Jorge a couple times to get back to that split finger, which was the right pitch. When there's a pitch that you're just going to the well and a hitter doesn't look good, Ryan Domit, his previous at bat against Roger, saw 3 split fingers, swung through every single one of them. You see a weakness in a hitter, you keep going to it. Let him prove that he can hit it.
The 2-2. Got him. Strikeout number 7 for Clemons, and he retires the last 7 in a row. After the RBI, 2 RBI double by Wilson. Mr. Splitty was his big pitch tonight. Yankees like it. The crowd loves it, giving him a standing ovation as he walks off the mound. That'll probably do it. It's a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs. Yankees lead 4-3. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Crowd cheering for a while as Clemons greeted his teammates in the dugout. A long talk with Posada, and his day is likely done. Mahalam's still in there as Phelps swings and misses. And this is Clemons entering the dugout after striking out Domit. And Clemons looked sharper in his final 2 innings than he did at any point in the game, retiring the last 7 Pirates in a row.
And especially with his split finger, I think his split finger got really good the last 3 innings that he pitched.
Now that was an interesting K corner up there. Was that defeating Father Time? Ground ball at third, Bautista. And there's one away. It looks like that's Father Time and superimposed on a K. So 44 years old, timeless. Get it. Now it's all coming together.
Rocket.
Now let's put a bow on this, Al. This has been the story of the day. Give me your review of what Clemons did today.
Well, I think 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. That's, I wouldn't say more than what Joe Torre and Ron Guidry wanted, but he pitched very well. It looked like he wasn't as aggressive pushing off the mound. Right groin, a little bit bothering him. Showed enough velocity, spotted the ball, and he had an excellent split finger. I would say this was an excellent performance.
And this is the Rocket relaunch numbers. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. He threw 108 pitches, his first start in the big leagues this year. The 2-0. Outside in the count 3-0 to Melky Cabrera.
I saw from Roger today when he didn't have his good stuff, he pitched accordingly. But when he did have his good stuff and he had his split finger working, he spotted his fastball well and utilized the split finger to get the guys out. That's how you win 7 Cy Youngs, because you don't always have your good stuff every inning. And sometimes you don't have your good stuff when you start out. It may be the 3rd inning that finally things start to fall into place for you. But in order not to let those other innings to get away from you, you just experience, maturity, and knowing how to pitch. You get by somehow by pitching accordingly.
Well, after the walk to Cabrera, Jim Tracy has seen enough. Mahalam has thrown 107 pitches. So Tracy is going to go to the bullpen. With Damon, Jeter, and Abreu coming up, Mahalam departs. He's trailing 4-3. He leaves a runner on first base with 1 out. Another left-hander making his way in. Yankees lead 4-3. You come on back. The game summary presented by Sharp Aquos, the official HDTV of Major League Baseball. And this game today was about Roger Clemons, at least through the first 6 innings. Yankees offense did its part, putting 4 on the board. Clemons battled early, got stronger late, lasted 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, and here in the bottom of the 6th, the Yankees lead 4-3 and looking for more. As John Grabo, the left-hander, comes in to face Johnny Damon. Grabo on a relief of Mahalam. Runner was going. Hit and run was on, and Wilson cannot handle the ball. Now they give Damon a base hit.
Well, the hit and run looked like it was on, and you could see that Wilson was headed towards second base. He was the guy that was going to be covering with the runner coming from first to second, and he got out of position and lost his footing, and the ball gets by him. Damon will get a base hit out of this.
Good call by the Yankees. Create some movement. You got a pitcher on the mound that doesn't have strikeout stuff. Johnny Damon did exactly what he was supposed to. Ball away, hit the ball away. You saw Jack Wilson out of position because of the hit and run. Be aggressive, force the defense.
Here's Derek Jeter. Derek is 1 for 2 with a walk, and he has scored 2 runs. Still overcast here at the stadium. The lights have been on all day. And the count 2-0. Those are Graybo's numbers. This is his 22nd game. More than a hit per inning and too many walks. And the count 2-1. Good speed on the bases for the Yankees. Cabrera at second, Damon at first. They're going. And the throw to third, not in time. Good play by Bautista to keep the ball from going into left field. Yankees being aggressive against Graybo and Paulino.
Well, Melky Cabrera got a great jump. I don't know if that was Melky just going on his own because of the looks that the pitcher wasn't doing. You see Johnny Damon making sure that Melky was going. Follow behind. It was a high pitch. Generally a good pitch for a catcher to come out of the chute. Melky stole that off the pitcher.
Count 3-2. Now the infield is back. Yankees could get another run with a ground ball. Wind starting to whip up here at the stadium. And the flags now seem as if they're blowing straight in. But if you believe the Mattingly method, the knob of the bat over the flagpole is pointing out, so the wind is probably blowing out to left. It swirls. The 3-2. Jeter walks and the bases are loaded. And here's the red-hot Bobby Abreu, who has a 9-game hitting streak and great numbers with the bases loaded in his career. Cabrera is at third. Damon is at second. And Jeter over at first.
Well, how this inning is developing as a pitcher, when you know that you have base runners that can run as they were doing, and Melky and Johnny Damon hit and run, stealing bases, it just gives enough disruption for the hitter, the pitcher, not to focus on the hitter as much, and you get behind. Start rushing your delivery, getting bad counts. Pitcher does. Hitters feast on that, and they should take advantage.
I mean, the Yankees don't, I mean, they got some speed in their lineup, but you don't see them doing this very often. And you're right, Al. It certainly has bothered Graybo because.
Line drive right field. It is a base hit. Cabrera scores. Damon stops at third. The throw comes all the way into Paulino. Another base hit, another RBI for Abreu. Yankees lead 5-3.
Well, he gets behind, and then here you see that's a slider. It ends up being middle of the plate instead of going down and away. Grabo realizing, recognizing he's got to get back into the count. You throw a pitch over the plate. Bobby Abreu, who is feeling better. You see that slider just spinning up there, middle inner half. Not a good pitch lefty on lefty.
And Jim Colbert wants to talk with John Grabo. Big batter in the game, Alex Rodriguez. There's no place to put him, and with one swing he could open this game up.
Absolutely. It's a perfect opportunity for the Yankees to blow it wide open here. Besides A-Rod, they also have Posada.
Alex with 2 grand slams this year. This one on April 7th, a 9th inning walk-off, and this one this Thursday in Chicago, not a walk-off. Yankees batting in the top of the 9th, and that broke open that game. So Alex has 22 home runs and 57 runs batted in. Armas throwing again. Look at the numbers with the bases loaded. 15 grannies and a .349 average. Fly ball right field. Tagging Damon. Catch is made by Gomit. The throw is cut off. It's a sac fly for Alex Rodriguez, and the Yankees lead 6-3. .58 ribby for A-Rod, second one today.
Well, A-Rod did the job with the man on third, less than 2 outs. May not have been the type of swing or the type of place he wanted to hit the ball, but it got the man in from third, and that's the most important thing.
Well, this inning is winning baseball inning. It was a 1-out walk for Cabrera. Johnny Damon executes a hit and run. Walk by Jeter.
Here's Posada, 2 ribbies for him today. 1 for 2 and a sac fly. So the Yankees up 6-3. Joe Torre, who has moved from his longtime perch on the bench to now leaning against the lowest step in the dugout. Runners go again, and another double steal for the Yankees. And Al mentioned this yesterday when we started the series. Paulino throws out 43% of base runners, but the Yankees are running on him.
Well, look at the jump here. Jeter's getting an outstanding jump, and I don't know whether this all has to do with scouting. You know, scouting knows everything about every nuance of what pitchers are doing and hitters are doing. Grabo, that is, he may have like one look where he looks back one time, or looks twice, or doesn't look. And there's certain nuances that pitchers do not change. And if they recognize that, they're going.
Now they will intentionally walk Posada. He already has a 2-0. So that walk will load the bases, and that's lefty Grabo up against lefty Matsui. And again, the Yankees have another opportunity to bust this open. 6-3 right now, and the bullpen will pitch the final 3 innings. Matsui today is 0 for 2 with a walk. Reached on a fielder's choice as well. And there's a strike from Grabo.
Yeah, I always felt that if the offense did enough disruptive things, bunting, walking, hit and run, sac flies, it created a situation where you just didn't feel comfortable, and it gave the opposing team an opportunity to really break it open.
The 0-1. Broken back. Humpback line drive on one hop to Sanchez, and that'll do it here in the 6th. But the Yankees get 2 big runs on 2 hits. They leave the bases loaded. We played 6 at 6-3 Yankees. Roger Clemens went 6 innings, and this is the way he left, striking out Ryan Domit and then leaving to the strains of Rocket Man. And a congratulatory slap by the captain, Derek Jeter. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, struck out 7. And Clemens is in line to pick up his 349th win. But the Yankee bullpen must do its job as Brian Bruni comes on in relief of Roger Clemens. Pitch is high. One other defensive change. Miguel Cairo takes over at first for Josh Phelps. You see Bruni's numbers. They're impressive. 19 hits in 27 innings and 24 strikeouts. And there's Cairo. Deep drive, left center field, giving Chase Cabrera on the run, on the track, at the wall, makes the play. Takes an extra base hit away from Ronnie Paulino.
You know, what a difference a day makes. It was Melky Cabrera last night who misplayed a ball, and inside the park home run, it turned into a 2-run home run. And a beautiful play there. He tracking this ball all the way with his sunglasses down, with the wind blowing, and nice play, Melky.
I can't tell if that ball would have been over the wall.
I don't think so. I think it's close. Just about an inch or 2 short.
They took away an extra base hit for sure, and the pitch to Jack Wilson is a strike. Maybe this gives you a better read. I don't know, Bob. I think you might be right. Top of the wall, maybe?
Maybe top of the wall. I'll give you that.
Very close. And there's a strike. Fouled away. Now on June 6th of 06, this was the catch by Melky Cabrera, playing left field, taking a home run away from Manny Ramirez. That was definitely
was over the wall.
Another try from Melky. This time he has to come in, and there's 2 away. Try behind him, try in front of him.
Well, Melky's got one of the better arms, if not the best arm of the outfield right now, and he certainly got speed, and he's tracking the ball. And one of the positions that they didn't have a lot of confidence in putting Melky in, that was in center field. But he has played the heck out of center field since he's been out there, taking over for Johnny Damon, who's now become the designated hitter.
Duffy fouls it back. Bruni dealing. Count 0-2.
You know, the one thing you want out of a center fielder, you want a center fielder who's got speed, obviously, and you want a center fielder who tracks the ball off the bat. And the first step jump is the biggest jump that you can get in the outfield. How many times you see an outfielder chasing after a ball and he's about a half a step short? And that's just because he never got going when the ball hit the bat. Being able to read that is quite efficient and good for a center fielder if you're going to get a good one out there. Paul Blair, I think, was one of the best center fielders that I've seen to play as shallow as he played and to track the ball down in the gaps and also deep center.
Well, Andrew Jones does it pretty well down in Atlanta for many years, saving so many runs for those pitchers.
Jim Cott used to always say that he wanted his outfielders to play as shallow as possible, and if the ball goes over your head, it's my fault.
Well, here's the theory. The theory is, as we take another look at Melky making that fine catch there off of Paulino's bat, Ralph Houck used to tell me, the skipper for the Yankees, used to tell me, he said, look, if you think about it, how many balls fall in front of you and how many balls are hit over your head? Most of the time, the ball, if it's hit over your head in center field or in the outfield, it's either up against the wall or it's going to be out of the ballpark. So he said the more shallow you can play, the more balls you're going to catch.
Boy, that's real frustrating for Bruni and the Yankees. You get a 2-out walk. 7th inning, that's a no-no, especially to a 9-hole hitter. Certainly not what Brian tried to do, but he got ahead 0-2, and then he kept elevating and overthrowing with that high fastball. There is one bit of area that Bruni needs to improve a little bit on, is that 16 walks, now 17 walks in 27 innings.
Count 1-0.
When you have the velocity that Brian Bruni has, you have the tendency to overthrow. You know that you possess a 95 to 100 mile an hour fastball. And instead of recognizing to stay back and 92, 93 down in the zone, outside part of the plate is as effective or more effective than an overthrown 95 mile an hour fastball.
Hey, if you get a chance, stop by and visit our friends at J&R Music and Computer World. And what do you think Guidry's telling them there? Just
slow down.
Slow down?
Yeah. You're a little geeked up, and you got a lot of energy. You got good stuff. Stay back. Allow your arm to get on top. Finish through the zone. Reach out.
What does reach out mean?
Reach out means make sure that your arm, the arc of your arm, gets up in position to throw, and then reach out in front of you. Get the ball out in front of your head, and reach your hand to the target. Throw your hand to the target.
Extend, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Runner goes. Pitch is high. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Duffy. Duffy now is 11th stolen base in 13 attempts this year. Last year he was 26 of 27.
Well, last night he hit the inside the Parker. And Duffy is definitely one of the fastest runners on this team. Not much of a chance for Jorge.
And excuse me, Gal, go ahead.
Well, I'm saying 9 out of 10 times good base runners steal it off the pitcher, not the catcher.
And a team that doesn't run that much, and Duffy's off at second base, being down 3 runs here in the top of the 7th inning with 2 men out. I don't know.
Along with Bobby Mercer and Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on Yes. 6-3 Yankees lead, top of the 7th. I think Yankees looking for their 5th straight win. And Bautista walks, so 2 straight 2-out walks. And that brings up Freddie Sanchez, the National League defending batting titleist, has a tying run. He's not a home run hitter, but he is a hitter. And Scott Proctor gets up and starts throwing. Fouled away.
Freddie Sanchez right there doing a little favor for Brian Bruni, who's having a tough time getting the ball down. That ball was high for a ball. See Freddie Sanchez's number this year. Last year, the National League batting title.
Way out in front. He's been throwing so hard, and he drops that slider in there 0-2.
It's a good call for Jorge. When you have a pitcher who's overthrown and he's high, a lot of times a breaking ball or a changeup, something off speed will get the pitcher to get back into the rhythm that he needs.
And the 0-2. He struck him out. Another slider. So 2 walks, and Bruni comes back to strike out the National League batting titleist from last year. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base at the end of 6 1/2. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium.
Hi, everyone. Bob Lorenz back in our Yes Studios with the Tri-State Ford update. Couple games we'll keep an eye on today. The Mets and Tigers. Oliver Perez will have his hands full. Detroit batting .310 against lefties this season. Jeremy Bonderman going for his 6th straight win for the Tigers. Meantime, Red Sox and D-backs later tonight. Boston, as we know, 10.5 games up in the division on both the Yankees and the Blue Jays. It is Julian Taveras against Micah Owings in that one. And then, of course, a reminder that we will have full Rocket coverage coming up on the postgame show. Now back to the Bronx.
Thank you, Robert. In the Bronx, bottom of the 7th inning, and the Yankees lead 6-3 over the Pirates. Obviously, the story of this game was Roger Clemons coming back. He gave the Yankees 6 innings, 3-run baseball, and the Pirates will go to their 3rd pitcher. Mahalam started, Graybo, and now Tony Armas Jr.
And you see those numbers, Michael, not very good. He was brought in to be one of the starters, and now here he is in the bullpen. But anytime you have 30 innings, 45 hits, you're not doing your job. You see that bloated 8 ERA. Sometimes when you get exiled to the bullpen and you have opportunities to get some work in and feel comfortable, you get back into knowing what you need to do.
Now, you know that at one point you had to be highly thought of when you were in the deal that got the Red Sox Pedro Martinez. The Red Sox traded Carl Pavano and Tony Armas Jr. to the Expos for Pedro Martinez. So that's how highly thought of they were. And obviously Pavano just had Tommy John surgery, and he's probably not ever going to pitch for the Yankees again. And that's right, who's your daddy is right. And Pedro now coming back from shoulder surgery, hoping to get back sometime in August for the Mets. Armas actually came out of the Yankee system, and they traded him to the Red Sox to reacquire Mike Stanley. Count 1 and 2 on Cano. It'll be Cano, Cairo, and Cabrera, the killer C's at the bottom of the order.
Well, having been in the National League East and pitching against Tony Armas while with the Expos, Tony, I could see why he was traded for Pedro Martinez. Excellent stuff. Threw the ball in the mid-90s consistently.
Driven out to left center field. Could be trouble. On the run is Duffy. Can't make the play. And Cano will get himself a leadoff double. He's 2 for 4.
Boy, I don't know where Jason Bay was on that play. I mean, he was circling that and gave up from the moment the ball hit the bat. And it was up to Duffy to try to run it down, and he just was too far away.
And you see Robinson Cano, when he's right, he stays on that ball that's sailing away from that. Looked like a little split finger. As Bobby mentioned, you see where Jason Bay went. He just allowed Duffy to see if he can get the ball. But Robinson Cano, when he stays on that ball, stays back long enough and doesn't try to shoot the ball to right field, he's got much better result.
Let's see if the Yankees have Cairo bunt add another run as they head into the final 2 innings. And he does square, and he bunts foul. Cairo took over at first base last inning, really the top of this inning. So this is his first at bat. He's played very well since the injury to Minkiewicz. He started at first base, been great defensively, picked up timely hits. That's Cano's 18th double of the year. That one's bunted straight up in the air. And a nice play by Paulino. So Cairo does not get the job done.
You know, Cairo is so upset that he didn't lay down that first pitch. And anytime there's a residual mental effect after realizing you didn't do your job, you see the barrel of the bat that dip below the hands. And anytime a bunter does that, it's most of the time it's a pop-up just like that.
A lot of times the pitcher, if he knows that you're in the bunting situation, that's what you're going to do. They try to throw you up in the strike zone in the first place to try to get you to pop the ball up.
Here's Melky Cabrera.
Well, last night that exactly was what happened. Matt Capps, the closer for the Pirates. Melky Cabrera was in a bunting situation after Cano led off with a double, and he successfully bunted a high, hard fastball from their closer.
And the count 1-1. And Cairo, who knows that's part of his job, very upset that he wasn't able to execute it. Count 2-1.
Well, that run may or may not play into it. Obviously, we'll see how this game plays out, but you know, those are the situations for a bench guy like Miguel Cairo has to be able to execute, as well as a Melky Cabrera or different situational hitters, because there will come a time like last night when Melky needed to put down the bunt. He did.
And now it's up to your teammates to pick you up, because if they could score the run, then it's no harm, no foul. Okay, he didn't get the bunt down. But if that's a run that's not scored, and then the Yankees have trouble in the final 2 innings, then that really gets magnified. The 2-2. Fouled away.
It's all part of execution and small ball, winning baseball kind of mentality. Not always going to get the 3-run homer, and when there's situations like this, you have to make sure that you execute.
Fundamentals, I mean, that's basically what the game is executing your fundamentals at the right time and being successful. Work on the same fundamentals. I don't care how long you're in the game. Every time you go to spring training, you work on the same things that are fundamental plays. The cutoffs, covering first, going from first to third.
And those are your winning teams. For the most part, those are your playoff teams and your championship teams. It sounds kind of basic, but that's right.
And the 3-2. Foul back.
You know, fundamentals are not showing. You know, they're not the long home run that's a grand slam. I mean, they're just plays that are consistent, you know, and being consistent as a professional athlete, that's what you try to achieve.
And I think we're moving away from that in professional sports, because a bunt or a free throw doesn't get you on SportsCenter.
That's
the
right.
fundamentals aren't flashy, as you said. Line drive, base hit to left field. Jason Bay fields. They're going to hold Cano right there. And a bad throw gets past everybody, and here comes Cano. He will score, and Cabrera advances to third. Yankees lead 7-3. Talking about fundamentals, the Pirates have been awful in these 2 games.
Well, I don't know what Jason Bay was thinking early in the game. He lollipopped the ball in and overthrew the third base cutoff, and here he just airmails it. Good aggressive running on Melky Cabrera. He sees that he misses the cutoff man. Anytime the outfielder misses the cutoff man, you run to second base, and that just was so high that Polino, the catcher, couldn't even get it. He's watching. He sees it's an overthrow of the third base cutoff, and now with all of this room at Yankee Stadium, easily Melky gets into third base.
Jason Bay is having a hard time figuring out left field here at Yankee Stadium.
That scored a single. Obviously, there's no RBI, and the error is to the left fielder, Bay. And it's the second error for the Pirates. Infield in with Damon at the plate. Count 0-2. Johnny is 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored today.
With the infield in, Major League average goes up 100 points. Johnny trying to take advantage of this.
The 0-2. Paulino pump fakes Cabrera back to third. Yankees up 7-3. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 1-2. Upstairs, 2-2. And the count full at 3-2. On deck is Derek Jeter. Jeter has 1 hit and 2 at-bats with 2 walks. Also scored 2 runs.
Sort of looks like that Damon's left-handed hitter, that Armas is kind of doing one of those unintentional, intentional walks to Damon to get to Jeter. But But Jeter, with runners in scoring position this year, he has been absolutely fantastic, and it's not going to be any cakewalk. That's what he's trying to do.
Well, I think the situation with Tony Armas Jr. is when you're struggling as badly as he has this year, and he's actually made 158 consecutive starts before making his first relief appearance on May 22nd. It becomes more of just making pitches and hoping to get somebody out.
Ground ball fielded there by LaRoche. He comes home, not in time. And he didn't step on the bag to make matters worse. And the Yankees up 8-3.
Well, LaRoche was a little nonchalant here, and Melky Cabrera, I think he misjudged his speed. You see Johnny Damon had to get out of the way of the throw. He was running down the baseline, and LaRoche, he had a little bit of a problem, maybe a second there getting the ball out of the glove, and that was the difference.
Well, you said it, Bobby. You got to know your runners. You have a good runner at third base. It's a broken bat dribbler to your left. 3 steps, you step on first base, you get it out at least.
I can't tell you that Jim Tracy can't be happy with the way the Pirates are playing this afternoon.
Very sloppy. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you don't know, are they overwhelmed by 56,000 people when they play in front of 19,000 plus a game? It's a major league game that they're just making silly mistakes.
You know, just fundamental mistakes that they have made this afternoon, which has allowed the Yankees to blow this game open now at 8-3. And I've got a feeling that he's not going to be very happy when this game's over with.
All he has to do is move his left foot and step on the bag.
He was more interested in getting the runner at home.
He had no chance at him.
That was his play to go at home, and he just was a little bit late. I think he misjudged the runner and the speed.
Jeter swings and misses. Fouled away. The count 0-2.
Well, not to pile on, but you know, the Pirates are a team that is an organization that has struggled in years. Haven't made 500 or postseason since 1992. 2 years in a row they had 67 wins. If there's one thing, you got to make sure that your guys are fundamentally sound.
Again, you can't get inside people's heads, Bobby, but I mean, you'd think they might be overwhelmed by the enormity of everything here, being young kids.
You know, I don't know. Possibly. I mean, they've got to be. Their adrenaline's got to be flowing a little bit more playing here at Yankee Stadium. Roger Clemons coming back. I mean, this is going to be a big day. This is a game that's going to be shown all over the world, and plays and Roger and the Pirates at Yankee Stadium. But I mean, this is a capacity crowd.
Now look at the ages of the starting lineup when Roger made his debut.
Oh my goodness.
Freddie Sanchez and Jack Wilson were the oldest at 6.
Now, I'd be a little intimidated about that, but my, oh my.
Damon goes, ball fouled off.
Who was the oldest? Was 6 years old. Who
6 years old.
Freddie Sanchez.
Freddie Sanchez and Jack Wilson were both 6. So they were just getting out of kindergarten.
You were still with your binky at that time, weren't you?
That was 23. Yeah, I still had my binky. Yeah.
That's a new word I've learned since my grandchildren have come along.
We used to call it pacifiers.
Yeah, I know it.
Now they're binkies. This could be 2. There's 1. And there's 2. But the Yankees get 2 insurance runs. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and nobody left on base. We played 7 at the stadium. Yankees lead the Pirates 8-3. Hey fans, today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with your Yankee announcers for the Chevrolet Player of the Game. Text your vote to 55222, or for more information visit ChevyOffers.com. You can vote right up until the end of the game. Vote now and make your voice heard. Today's candidates are number 1, Roger Clemons. Number 2, Melky Cabrera. Number 3, Bobby Abreu. And number 4, Johnny Damon. Standard text messaging rates apply. Well, we go to the top of the 8th inning. New pitcher for the Yankees, Kyle Farnsworth. And he'll face Jason Bay, Adam LaRoche, and Xavier Nady. You see Farnsworth's numbers. Strikeout to walk ratio 1-to-1. He's got better stuff than that. There's a strike. Farnsworth's stuff, pure stuff, is nasty. I mean, a guy could throw 100 miles an hour. That's nasty. And a knee buckling slider, but he has not really been consistent this year. His workload has been somewhat inconsistent, and when he gets in there, sometimes he has trouble throwing strikes.
I think more than anything else, and Al may want to chime in on this too, but Farnsworth control. He just doesn't have control. I mean, I don't care how hard you throw the ball. If you're pitching behind in the count all the time, you can't be successful up here on the major league level. I mean, you talked about his electrifying stuff. He's always trying to hit the outside corner, the inside corner, make a perfect pitch, and he just doesn't have to. And when he's doing that, he's falling behind in the count from his point of purpose, and puts the hitter on the offensive all the time. I think that's Farnsworth big. If he ever can control, if he can ever really get that control under harness and start pitching in front of these hitters, they're going to have something pretty special down there in the bullpen. But he hasn't been able to do it.
The ball just dropped from the upper deck, and it went right into a cup of beer that a woman's holding.
How do you know that's beer?
It looks like beer.
Well, I mean,
yeah, it's beer.
If a ball goes in the cup, you're going to get foam anyway.
With the ball in there.
Oh, my goodness.
Pitches outside.
It's your lager with leather.
That's a gamer right there.
That's
just a
unbelievable.
gamer.
Got it in there.
She will not take the ball out. She's going to continue to drink it. That shows me something. Oh, yeah. The 2-2. High fly ball left field. Matsui's there. One away. Time for the in-game box score for the Pirates, sponsored by Heineken. That's probably what she's drinking, so she didn't want to waste it. Just 5 hits for the Pirates. 1 for Bautista, LaRoche, Nady, Domit, and Wilson. And Wilson drove in 2 runs with an RBI single. Check that, a double. And the other ribby came off the bat of Adam LaRoche in the first inning off Clemons. And here is LaRoche. Fouls it back. It's still in the cup. She refuses to take it out of the cup. Showing it to everybody.
You want to take that soggy leather out of the cup and have to carry it around in your pocket.
I'm wondering if she knows that it's rubbed in mud and she's still drinking the beer.
And isn't Farnsworth, doesn't he really lick his hand?
Constantly. Let's watch. Constantly. When he walks up the mountain, it's not just like the tips of the fingers. It's from the palm to the tip of the fingers. Maybe she was a Farnsworth fan.
Not healthy, is it?
I don't know. I'd have to check. Now he'll do it. Let's see. See? There we go. Two-one count on LaRoche. And the pitch. Outside, 3-1.
What I'm talking about, you know, it's a 3-1 count, the 2-0 count. And he finds himself in that situation most of the time, and you know, that's a fastball situation, and the hitter is on the offensive. That was 95 miles an hour, and even though it was up in strike zone a little bit, he got pretty good wood on it.
Well, as great as it is for a pitcher to have superior stuff, and Farnsworth has that. Kyle throws 95 to 100 miles an hour. It works as a detriment if you can't keep it in the zone and utilize your off-speed pitch, because it's difficult for hitters to hit 96. So they're a little more patient, and if you're erratic and you're not hitting your spot, sometimes even if you're in the zone, you're erratic in the zone. You're missing, you know, Jorge sets up inside, it's a strike outside. You're setting up outside, it's a strike middle. you know, that's even equally as hurting if you're not hitting your spots. But I hear what you're saying, Bobby. Any pitcher at the major league level, you have to show, and Roger showed it today. He wasn't throwing 95, but you know, being able to throw your off-speed pitches for called strikes, not swinging strikes, because now you become less predictable. And I think that's what happened with Scott Proctor a couple years now as a major league pitcher. He's shown that he can throw a two-seamer for strikes. He's got a good curveball. He throws for called strikes, not swinging strikes. And when you do that, you possess the fastball that Kyle Farnsworth has, you're going to be unhittable. And all of that, it's not easy to do.
Well, if you're not unable to do it with your mile per hour, should you back off a little bit and sacrifice the speed for control?
Well, then it comes to a consistent delivery. And does Kyle Farnsworth have the impeccable delivery to enable the command by trusting, I'm going to take something off my fastball, throw it? That was 93 right there. He took a little bit off, and you saw it. He moved a lot in on 80. Now he paints down away. So sometimes these guys don't have that ability to be able to take the ball, take some velocity off. I don't believe he's one of those guys unless he's really locked in. You don't trust it either. Your entire existence as a pitcher has been, wow, he's got great stuff. He throws 100 miles an hour. Yeah. And then to be told, hey, back off a little. Throw it easier. Rick Rhoden used to tell me that all the time. Take a little off. Take a little off. I said, take a little off. I'm going to throw it harder.
Lined right at A-Rod, 2 away. Now, one thing, Al, that Joe Girardi has said about Farnsworth, because he's caught him in Chicago with the Cubs, he said he's most effective when he throws downhill. This was hit sharply right at A-Rod. Well, what does that mean?
Well, that means being able to stay back over the rubber. For Farnsworth as a right hand, you're going to stay back over the rubber, meaning on your right leg, allowing and enabling the arc of the ball to work on the backside to get up in position so that you can throw the ball out in front. We watched Roger Clemons today. He's as good as anybody's ever thrown the ball. He has consistent delivery. You have a consistent delivery, you're going to have a consistent release point. Your consistent release point, you're going to know where you're going to throw the ball. Mariano Rivera's done it like clockwork. He's a robot. Same delivery. It's not easy.
Getting on top of the ball.
Getting on top of the ball instead of pushing it. Because if you push it and you lead with your elbow and you're slightly dropping your arm a little bit, you're always going to be off just a little bit. Your hand's a little bit off to the right side, you're going to get too much tail. You get your hand on top of the ball, you hook it.
Runner goes, and that one's popped up. Third base side, A-Rod near the dugout, and it's on the roof of the dugout. So exactly, when he's not throwing downhill, Al, what's he doing?
Well, look, you mentioned, Joe Girardi mentioned, if you're able to stay on the backside and get your arm in position before your body goes forward, you're going to be able to get on top and through the ball. Instead, if you're drifting, like a lot of pitchers do, especially pitchers that throw the ball hard, they're generating a lot of energy. They get out in front, and now their hand's either to the side or on top of the ball. You get to the ball side, you're going to get this run. You get too far on top, you see the ball, it'll hook. And that's mostly when you hear pitching coaches stay back, ride the rubber, get on top. And that's what Joe Girardi was talking about.
1-1. Foul back. It's a nice blue shirt you have on.
Thank you.
Nice tie, too.
Yeah.
He looks good, doesn't he, Bob?
Where's your stays at? Good to be young and handsome, isn't it?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, brother. Have all your hair and
that hair's coming back, Bobby.
It is coming back. I'd be surprised if I don't have a full head of hair next year.
Swing and a miss. And that was an off-speed pitch, and Domit down on strike. So a scoreless inning for Kyle Farnsworth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. Bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees 8 and Pirates 3.
You know, I was talking about Farnsworth and delivery and stay back and all that. Nobody does it better than Roger. Watch him stay over the backside of the rubber. He gets his arm out. It's the arc. You want to get your arm up in position before you move forward. Watch out in front. He's throwing the ball out in front of his face. That's good finish. You throw your hand to the glove. Roger Clemons stays back. Look at him finish through the ball. You're going to keep the ball down in the zone. Pitchers get in trouble when they rush through the backside and they're throwing behind their head as opposed to in front of their face.
the arm never really catches up, right, to your release. So you're a little bit behind, and that's where you end up. And I think that they've heard us talk about, well, pitchers get tired, and later on in the game. Well, their lower body does not allow them to get their arm in the proper position again because they're not throwing downhill. They just get lazy.
Yes.
And it's interesting. You almost have to play against human nature, Al, what you were explaining. If you're tired and you want to generate more power, you're going to go against everything that you should be doing. You're going to rush and go forward, and that's going to, just foul everything up. There's a strike.
It's so true what Al is talking about here with the pitches for hitters too.
Watch this, a good shot. You see Roger getting through. Roger wasn't max effort today. I don't know whether he was being a little ginger because of the groin, but that even also enables a pitcher to stay back, realizing getting on top, finishing. Anytime a pitcher's finishing the way Roger did today, you're going to get a lot of quality pitches down in the zone.
Count 2-2. Abreu, A-Rod, and Posada here against Armas. Yankees looking for their 5th win in a row. The 2-2. Fouled away. Crowd of 54,296. And that's the Yankees' 9th sellout of the year. Another game tomorrow. Tyler Clippard against Sean Chacon. Count 3-2. Wonder if Tyler's pinching himself. Kid sitting on a team with a lot of stars, watching Roger Clemons pitch. Drilled down the right field line and foul.
He was like a caged polar bear in the Yankees clubhouse today, walking around, sitting in his locker for about a minute or two, get up, walk around a little bit more. And, all the media that was in there, Michael, and obviously waiting for Roger to show his face. And it's exciting being with the Yankees. It's always an event. There's something going on. And when there's something going on, I mean, it's not just here in New York. It's all over the world. That's the exciting thing about playing for the greatest sports franchise.
You corralled him for a while, though. I saw you sitting talking for about 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, I did.
Be a nice kid.
I had not had a chance to meet him, so I wanted to go over and say hello to him and just see what he was thinking, getting ready to pitch tomorrow. And that's some nice things to say. We'll talk more about that tomorrow.
Rodriguez swings and misses. Alex has had not much of a contact day. He's 0 for 1, but he walked twice, had a sacrifice fly, he's driven in 2 runs. He's at 58 on the season now. And that got him. He gets hit a lot on that left elbow. That's why he has that pad there. So he is hit by a pitch. Runners on first and second. And nobody out. Let's take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, sponsored by Heineken. There are 10 hits in there, 2 by Johnny Damon, 2 runs scored. Jeter with 2 runs scored. Abreu 2 for 4, 9-game hitting streak now for him. He picked up a ribby. A-Rod has walked twice, hit by a pitch, and also drove in 2 runs. Posada 2 ribbies. And Robinson Cano, a ribby and a run scored as well. Melky Cabrera has scored 2. So the only ones without a hit, A-Rod and Matsui. Here is Posada with 2 ribbies. He's got 41 on the season. Now, we mentioned that Posada is second in the American League in hitting. And this stat really jumped out at me. The Yankees have not had a catcher finish in the top 10 in batting in the American League since Thurman Munson in 1978. And he finished at 297. And Posada's always been a pretty decent hitter, but never in the top 10. No, not one catcher since Thurman Munson in 78. The captain, number 15.
Catcher of the American League last year that won the batting title, Joe Mauer from Minnesota. A lot of people feel that they're just worn out. By the time the end of the season, they just can't sustain a long a streak of hitting.
Well, it wasn't long ago where the catcher was similar value as a center fielder, shortstop, second baseman. You got him for defense. It was special to have a catcher that actually hit.
1-2. High fly ball, right field. Domit's there. He'll put it away. Tagging is Abreu. The throw goes all the way to third, but Bautista comes up to cut it off. And there's one away. Now, Al, you played with the Mets with a catcher who was a great hitter. A great hitter, Mike Piazza. Did you see the wear and tear of catching wear him down toward the end of the year, hitting-wise?
I think so, but I would have to say that Bobby Valentine, who managed most of the time there, he did enough things to keep Piazza fresh. And he wasn't just a good hitter in the lineup and a great hitter. He was the offense.
Right.
So, you know, it's different than here where Posada is a great hitter, but you have a lot of support that are also great hitters around you. You know, when Mike went, so did the Mets offense.
And that's tough because the catcher really should catch maybe 5 games a week, and that means you're taking your best bat out of the lineup 2 times a week. It's tough. It's tough to keep him fresh.
Well, Joe tries to do the same thing. I mean, Joe's been a catcher before in his career, and he knows the wear and tear that 162 games will take, not only on your team, but also, you know, sitting behind that plate, and especially when we get into the latter part of June and July and August when it really gets hot. And these guys start to melt away.
I used to joke with John Stearns, a catcher with the Mets for years. He made the All-Star team twice for the Mets, and at the All-Star break he had 0 home runs as an All-Star.
Both times?
Both times.
Really? How'd the dude handle that when you said that?
That's exactly right. Dude, what's this? Look, All-Star break, 0 home runs, All-Star? What is that? But, you know, that's what it was. You know, the diamond kind of center of the field was more about defense. Shortstop, second, center field, catcher. If you got anybody some offense, that was bonus.
Especially if they're a switch hitter and can hit from both sides and hit with power from both sides. Whether there are 2 switch hitters in the American League, maybe in baseball, Veritek with Boston and Posada with the Yankees.
First and third with 1 out. Arma's taking too much time, so Matsui steps out. Yankees lead 8-3. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. One, 2. Just missed. Would you rather have a catcher, Al, that could hit or be a great defensive catcher as a pitcher?
Do we have a lot of other offense?
Yeah.
I'll take the defensive catcher.
Even a guy who hits 180.
If he's a great catcher, great receiver, calls a good game, can throw runners out, stop a running game, I'll take that.
Driven to center field, Duffy is there. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Abreu. He'll score easily. It's a sac fly for Matsui, and the Yankees lead 9-3. Hey, Yankee fans, get another chance to see all the big hits and great plays another time around with WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore. Later after each game and again the next morning at 9 only on Yes. Well, let me make the question harder then. You've got an okay offense.
It was pretty nice having Piazza's bat in the lineup.
Yeah?
Yeah. He was one of those few players that could carry a team for weeks. And Mike didn't have a strong arm, so he really had, as a pitching staff, you really had to work hard doing a lot of things to keep the runners not going.
Line drive right field, a base hit. That'll move A-Rod to second. And for Canoa's 3rd hit of the day.
You know, there's more things than just being able to spot behind home plate. I mean, it's the fact that I think you go for offense. I mean, you go for defense first when you're looking for a catcher. You know, what kind of arm does he have, and how does he handle the pitching staff, and has he got his head in the game? And that's the reason that the catcher is involved in the whole field. He's involved in every play out there. And that's the reason you see when you look around baseball today and you look in the dugouts, you see mostly former catchers that are there that are managing, because they've had to handle the pitching staff. They have to know what's going on. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on with catchers. So when you get one that's special like Jorge Posada, or Johnny Bench or Mike Piazza. Now, Piazza was never known to be a guy that was going to be a great defensive catcher.
Now, this is a special moment for Chris Basak. Pinch running for Alex Rodriguez, his first big league action.
Really?
And he just must be beside himself right now.
Well, I was talking to Chris and congratulated him for his call up, and he's from Chicago, and he said every day in Chicago his list was ridiculous with all family members and friends, and he's getting his family out for this homestand here in New York and let them experience Yankee Stadium.
And he's a guy who really made this team, although he's called up later in spring training. He impressed Joe Torre and his coaching staff so much in spring training because he can play everywhere and he does a nice job. And we talked about this before, fundamentally sound. He'll do everything he has to do. He can move a runner, he can run. Wherever he plays, he's not going to embarrass you defensively. Been in the minor league since 2000. Those are the stories you like to see. You battle, you hang in there, and you finally make it. Soft ground ball is short. Wilson fields across the diamond, and that will do it for the Yankees here in the 8th. But they score 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and 2 men left. Basak will play third base. 9th inning, 9-3 Yanks. Here at Yes, our award-winning Yankees coverage doesn't end with the final pitch. Stay tuned for the Nissan postgame with Bob Lorenz to get a recap of all the key plays from this interleague showdown with the Pirates, as well as highlights from around the league. Plus, Kimberly Jones has the inside scoop from the clubhouse. The Nissan postgame, it's coverage that you won't get anywhere else immediately following the game, only on Yes. New pitcher for the Yankees, the 4th they will use today, Luis Vizcaino. Clemons went 6, Bruni 1, Farnsworth 1, and Vizcaino, they hope, goes 1. Vizcaino will face the bottom of the Pirate order. Vizcaino was so effective last year for the Diamondbacks. Maybe he'll pitch better against the National League teams because he has really struggled early. And there's a strike.
Paulino, the way he stands at home plate, and he stands up like he's the Jolly Green Giant, you know, and he's just kind of planted himself there and said, throw it in here, big guy, if you're man enough. Not a whole lot of stride, just kind of stands there and waits for the ball.
Well, the day started with the story being the relaunch of the Rocket, and Roger Clemens in his second tour of duty with the Yankees went 6 innings and gave up 3 runs. When he left the game, the Yankees were up 6-3, and then he turned it over to the bullpen. So a 0 for Bruni in the 7th, a 0 for Farnsworth in the 8th, and now Vizcaino. Clemens looking to pick up his 349th career victory and his 61st after the age of 40. Al, how old are you?
41.
So Roger's 3 years older than you, starting to, you know, maybe get some thoughts about going out there and pitching.
Kidding me?
I'll be your agent.
It is much harder than it looks sometimes, and I couldn't do it.
Swing and a miss. Paulino down on strikes. Not even the slightest itch.
Man, I started feeling it when I was 38. 38 was my fall. Maybe my whole career was my fall.
I'll only take 15%.
Oh, how generous you are.
Hey, especially sitting here talking about sliders and deliveries and release points, It's not easy.
Easier to talk about it, is it?
You saw that, yeah. You saw the draft just a couple days ago, and seeing all these young college, high school guys dreaming to become the next Major League player. Matter of fact, the Yankees 30th pick overall in the first round. Andrew Brackman, North Carolina State, big, tall, 6'11".
Wow.
He's got the hopes, and the Yankees have the hopes for him to.
Wilson with a fly ball to right. Abreu's there, and the Yankees are 1 out away from their 5th straight win. A lot more calm in that dugout of late. And the Yankees, if they win this game, will pull to within 2 games of 500. And you can't even think about making any moves, gaining ground on anybody until you get to 500. You get to 500 and you try to get 5 over. Then you try to get 10 over. But they've been struggling to get to 500. Now it's just 2 away.
Well, they've got a good chance to keep this winning streak alive. And they could wheel off a lot of consecutive win streaks. So they know what kind of team they have. They just got to start putting everything together, and it looks like that they're a lot closer now than they have been since the season. All the injuries, get the pitching staff kind of lined up the way they had drawn it up beforehand.
Punched out to left field, a base hit for Chris Duffy as he keeps it alive for the Pirates.
Well, because of the talent, and there's all-stars all on this Yankee field, that it's really premature for some of the folks to get all panicky. And that guy right there, his calm demeanor and his ability to just keep a lot of the exterior distractions out of that clubhouse and out of the minds of the players, and you allow the players to realize what their job is. So it's to execute whatever it is, playing the field, hitting, pitching. Just do your job. You keep clicking away and you have a talented ball club, you're going to win games. It's the panic mode that you see from hierarchy and coaching staffs, that players feel that angst and that anxiety, and it's not good. It's not a good environment. Joe Torre is as calm as anybody, keeps the guys positive. You got to get out of it. Fight your way out of it.
And the one thing that you've noticed with the Yankees, especially in Chicago in the game yesterday, when they fell behind the first couple of months of the season, it looked like their body language was shot, like they didn't think they had a chance. Now they've been battling back. The attitude is a lot better. They fall back. They still think they're going to score runs because they do have a great offense. And it just seems like a different mindset on this team now. Maybe it's because they're getting better pitching. But for the first time all year, all parts are coming together. Pitching, defense, and offense. And sometimes they had a well-pitched game, they didn't score runs. Other times they'd score runs, they didn't get a well-pitched game. So now it's coming together. And let's see if it can consistently come together. Now Tyler Clifford's turn tomorrow. He started this 5-game winning streak. The 2-1. There's a strike, and the Pirates down to their final strike. Vizcaino deals right in on the hands, an emergency swing. The 2-2 stays alive, fouls it back to the screen. And the 2-2. He struck him out. Ball game over. And the Yankees win 9-3. In the 9th inning for the Pirates, no runs a hit and 1 man left. 9-11-0 Yankees, 3-6-2 Pirates, and Joe Torre manages Roger Clemens for his second tour of duty, and for Torre, his 2002nd career victory as a manager, and for Roger Clemens, his 349th career victory. So Clemens was steady, not spectacular by any stretch, but he did his job, and he gave them what qualifies as a quality start. And Major League Baseball counts that as a stat. That's 6 innings and 3 runs, and that's exactly what Clemens gave them. Pirates scored in the first. They scored 2 in the fourth, but when Clemens left the game, the Yankees had a 6-3 lead. They built it to 9-3, and they have won their 5th game in a row, starting with the Tuesday in Chicago. And also, they've now won their 3rd series in a row. They beat the Red Sox 2 out of 3. They beat the White Sox 3 out of 4. Now they've taken the first 2 games of this Pirate series, so they have this one as well. So the Yankees win 9-3. And Kim Jones settling in front of the dugout, and looks like she got herself a pretty big starter interview. It's the Yankee captain, Derek Jeter. Kim?
Thank you, Michael. Derek, does it seem like old times?
Somewhat, yeah. You know, it's good to have Rocket back on the mound. He did an outstanding job. It's exactly what we needed from him.
I know you want to win every game, but you had that walk to lead off the 5th. How much did you want that go-ahead run for him?
Well, he's pitching well. You know, I think he struggled a little bit with his control. This is his first time out, and we knew he had probably one more inning left in him, so we wanted to try to get him a win.
What do you think of that reception as he walks off and then all of you in the dugout?
It was great. I mean, the fans have been great here throughout the years. They respect Rocket. You know, he's done a lot of things. He's accomplished a lot of things here, and hopefully he has a few more things left.
I'll let you go after this, but you got to tell us what you said to him before the game that you both had a laugh at.
Well, I was introducing the infield to him.
Bye, Derek. Michael?
Thank you, Kim. That's right. He didn't know those guys. He never played with Cano, never played with A-Rod, and obviously didn't know Josh Phelps either, so it was a new infield.
No wonder they had a good laugh.
That's right. So Derek loosened up the moment right there. If Roger felt any pressure, Derek diffused it right there. This is your new infield. When we come back, we'll give out the awards. We'll break it down. Then Bob and Kim with the postgame show. Yankees win 9-3. Want to remind everybody that in our postgame show, we will carry Roger Clemens' press conference, and you'll hear from the Rocket himself about what he thought of his performance. Right now, let's take a look at the Geico play of the game. Call Geico and save 15% on your car insurance.
And that play of the game came off the bat of Ronnie Polino. And Melky Cabrera chasing it down in center field and taking a home run away from Polino with that nice catch up against the fence in center field. Our Geico play of the game.
He's made a lot of them out there in left field, now in center. 9-11-0 for the Yanks. They win their 5th in a row. 3-6-2 for the Pirates. Clemens the win. Mahalam the loss. And a 3-hour and 17-minute game. Clemens, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And for the Yankees, as I mentioned, a 5-game winning streak. I wonder, oh yes, I wonder who the Chevy player of the game is. Could it be Clemens? I don't know, there was some offensive production there as well. A lot of stars. We'll find that out. We'll have the postgame with Bob and Kim and hear from Roger himself coming up. He's win 9-3. Time to announce the Chevy player of the game is voted on by you, the fans, and the 3 of us here in the booth. Who is it?
Roger Clemens, of course. He pitched very well of the 24 batters he faced. He was ahead 15 of them. Of those 15, he got 12 outs. He had a good fastball, good split finger, as you see that one there to dome it, Ryan dome it. He was on, and the Yankee hitters got the run that was needed for him to get the win, and Roger Clemens is Chevy player of the game.
Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the Nissan New York Yankees postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones, featuring complete game analysis and interviews. The senior producer of the Yes Network, and today's game produced by Kevin Smoller. Directed by John Wilson, pre- and postgame produced by Drew Kaliski and directed by Michael Cooney. Supervising producer Woody Fryman, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Mr. John Filippelli. Join us again tomorrow for Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the very same Pittsburgh Pirates right here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Coverage begins at noon with batting practice today, followed by the New York Yankees pregame in high definition where available. For more on the Yes Network, log on to yesnetwork.com. Once again, the final score of the New York Yankees 9 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 3. We'll be back from the booth with some final thoughts. That's in just a moment. But now, let's go to Bob Lorenz, who is standing by patiently in our studios. Bob?
All right, Michael, thank you. Good to have you with us on the Nissan postgame show. Did you sense the Roger Clemens theme on that rollout right there? Well, it was all about the Rocket today as he picks up the win, and the Yankees get their 5th straight victory, 9-3. They haven't been on a winning streak like this since September of last year. They got something going. They won 8 of 10. Let's check the game highlights. They're brought to you by Chef's Diet. Visit them on the web at chefsdiet.com. And there's Roger making his season debut and heading out to Monument Park, getting a little mojo from Babe. Top of the first. Man on second, and Clemons trying to keep that runner from advancing further. He's facing Jason Bay. Oh, he throws him the splitter, and he gets it. First strikeout of the game for Rocket. Next man, Adam LaRoche. And a base hit to center field will score Jose Bautista. And the Pirates are on the board first against Roger Clemens. It's 1-0. Next man up, Xavier Nady. Nothing doing. Gets him on a fastball outside to end the inning. Now, bottom of the first, Yankees already with a run in. Jorge Posada drills one to left field. Derek Jeter will come in to score. You see the bad throw right there. Kind of a, just misses there. Posada would advance to second on that. So it's 2-1 Yankees. Now, still bottom of the first. 2 men aboard for Robinson Cano. Sneaks one under the glove of Jack Wilson. And Posada comes in, part of a 3-run first inning. And the Yankees are up 3-1. Now, top of the second, sometimes when you're a pitcher, you got to help yourself. That's what Roger does. Chris Duffy topping one to the left side. Roger barehands it, fires, and gets him at first. Still 3-1 at that point. On top of the fourth, Jack Wilson at the plate. And line drive out to right field. Bobby Abreu tracking it, but he can't come up with it. It bounces off the wall. Nady and Ronnie Paulino come in to score. That ties the game at 3, but those 2 runs in that inning, the only other runs that Roger would give up. Bottom of the 5th, Yankees get one back. Bases loaded for Posada. Lifts one out to right. Derek Jeter will tag and score. And now the Yankees are back in front 4-3. And then the Rocket came out in the 6th inning and facing Adam LaRoche. Gets him to ground one to the right side. Robinson Cano will scoop and fire, and that's out number 1 of the 6th. And then facing Xavier Nady. Strikes him out with a splitter, and finally Ryan Dumit, and he will finish with a flourish.
The 2-2. Got him. Strikeout number 7 for Clemens, and he retires the last 7 in a row.
So Clemens leaving with the big ovation after striking out 7 in the ballgame and giving up just 3 runs over 6 innings. Bottom of the 6th, Yankees get some insurance. Bobby Abreu with the bases loaded. Through the right side, Melky's in, part of a 2-run 6th. And then 7th inning, Brian Bruni in to relieve Clemens. Paulino blasting one to center, but Melky Cabrera races to the wall and makes a beautiful catch, leaping catch right there to take a potential extra base hits away from Paulino, maybe even a home run. Melky also went 1 for 3, scored a couple runs, so it was that kind of afternoon. Everybody contributing for the Yankees in a 9-3 win. Johnny Damon right off the top, 2 for 5. He scored a couple runs, as did Derek Jeter, who went 1 for 3. Bobby Abreu went 2 for 4. He continues his hot hitting, and Robinson Cano continues his scorching hitting as he went 3 for 5. All to back up Roger Clemens as he gets a win in his first game back and notches career win, number 349. All right, I want to remind you that coming up tomorrow, 11:30 in the morning here on Yes, it's the latest edition of Yankees on Deck. Join David Justice and Joe Girardi for that. Again, it's tomorrow, 11:30 here on Yes. But stick around because we have a lot more coming up here. We're going to get thoughts on the Rocket and so much more from Michael, Bobby, and Al, and of course Kim Jones with the players and Joe Torre. Much more ahead on the Nissan postgame, so don't go away.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you by Nissan and your local Nissan dealer.
Well, it was a day that began with Roger Clemens making his traditional trip to Monument Park. So much anticipation from the packed crowd at Yankee Stadium for Roger Clemens' relaunch in pinstripes. And then when the game began, well, Roger Clemens turned in some of his best work this season, but perhaps overall as he picks up the win, and everybody happy that the Rocket is back and back on the winning track. Good to have you with us once again on the Nissan postgame. It's time for the W.B. Mason postgame booth report as we talk more about the Yankees' 9-3 win over the Pirates, and we will talk to Michael, Al, and Bobby about that. And Michael, I think, we have to start, obviously, with Chris Basak pinch running in the 7th inning. No, wait a minute. Hang on. No, we should start with Roger Clemens, I guess.
All right.
You know, these numbers, Michael, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 7 strikeouts. They seem to me that would be exactly what the Yankees expected of him. 108 pitches, maybe a little much, but beyond that, it was typical of what they expected, and they got a win out of him today.
Well, I don't think, Bob, that they expect that of him in the future, but you're right. He only had 3 minor league starts, and then he actually skipped the 4th one, which would have been on Monday. It would have been a major league start. I don't think anybody should paint this as an extraordinary outing for Roger Clemens. He did okay. He struggled in the 1st inning. He had a great splitter, and then he finished strong, Alan. That was the important thing. Last 7 in a row, last batter he faced, great splitter, struck him out. So it was a quality start. I think the Yankees expect more of him down the line, but that was pretty good for a first time.
Boy, I don't know, Michael. A 6-inning quality start, and to get the win, you saw the enthusiasm and excitement of the Yankee hitters. Roger comes in after the top of the 5th, and he's, come on, let's go, guys, and the Yankee offense responds to it. So I'm not saying that there's an expectation of him throwing shutouts, but I think what he did today was beyond what people would expect. And if he were able to go 6 innings, 3 runs or less in all of his starts, the Yankees would be thrilled.
Now, last year and the last 3 years, Bobby, if he gives up 3 runs in 6 innings, he might not get a win. But if he does that each time out with the Yankees, he's going to pick up his share of W's.
Well, he's certainly going to pick up his share of W's, you know, and a win's a win. I mean, I don't care how you get it, a win's a win. And I think that if you ask Joe Torre and Ron Guidry if they'd take this performance each and every time Roger Clemens goes after, I think they'd say, bring it on, baby. But the one thing that I was really impressed with Roger this afternoon was the fact that he got off to kind of a shaky start. He wasn't making the pitches like he thought he should be. But that's just to show you the kind of professional that he is, the kind of competitor he is, because, you know, he made some adjustments himself, and he was able to spot the situation, pitch to that situation, pitch to that hitter, pitch to that inning, pitch to that score, whatever it was, in order to keep from just blowing totally up. And that impresses me with Roger. And when you see a guy that's got 7 Cy Young awards, you can see how he has gotten those 7 Cy Young awards, because he knows how to pitch.
Now, let me ask you this, Al. The one thing that jumped out at you is that, you know, his fastball was 89, 90, maybe topped out at 91. I think he was 92 in the 1st inning. Is that a cause for concern, or do you think that was a product of because he had that fatigue groin?
You know what? I'm curious and looking forward to the press conference and hear what he had to say, because we were talking about how calm his delivery was. He really wasn't pushing off the rubber, and this has been something that has not plagued him, but he's had some groin injury issues. So he really played along with what he had, and if there was some little residual effect to the groin, he was able to maintain it, have good delivery. He didn't have the overpowering fastball, but he's got a split finger, and at times it was nearly unhittable.
Guys, let me ask you, kind of expand on what Bobby was talking about. Michael, you mentioned it too, that as the game went on, he settled down and he got stronger. Now, talk about the importance of that for Roger as he hit the 80-pitch mark, Michael, and the 90-pitch mark, that he's actually getting stronger, because in a way, that mirrored some of his minor league starts, his last 2, in fact, when he got better as the game went on.
I was kind of surprised to even see him come out for the 6th inning, and that showed you that he felt okay and he started to feel even better. Maybe there were butterflies. I know he's 44. I know about the 7 Cy Youngs. I know about the number 2 in strikeouts and all that. But maybe he had butterflies and he settled down. But he certainly found his groove, Bobby. And the fact that he came out and pitched the 6th inning, I think that's a good sign.
Well, he found his groove because his groove was with the split-fingered fastball. I mean, maybe the fastball wasn't the 95-mile-an-hour fastball that we've been used to seeing from Roger Clemens, but he found an out pitch, and he utilized that out pitch to get these guys out, and he spotted his fastball. So that just goes to show you that he knows how to pitch. And, you know, and this is one of the things, not only did it energize the crowd here at Yankee Stadium, it energized this ball club. That's the first time I've seen them really energized, you know, in the dugout, knowing that they've got a chance to win, and Roger Clemens is here. Our pitching staff is finally falling into place, and you know what? We may reel off 10, 15 wins in a row. Who knows?
You know what's interesting, too, Al, is that when a pitcher goes to spring training, they try to get him 6 starts just to build him up to 100 pitches, sometimes even 90 pitches. This guy had 3 starts, and he threw 100 and some odd pitches today. That's also a positive sign.
Well, it is a positive sign. And look, there was definitely an accelerated program for Roger to get back sooner, the way the Yankees were going. And you know, during that little period of time, I think there was some instance that he probably should have gotten another start. And you're exactly right. The amount of starts that he has, workload-wise, really would be the equivalent of being in the middle of spring training sometime in March. So, you know, for what he was able to show today and do what he did, and like what Bobby was saying, he figured out during the game what was working, what I needed to do in the sense of having to use his split finger. He threw some good sliders. You know, this guy's a veteran pro. He's arguably the best pitcher that ever played in the major leagues. you know, he's going to be a big, big asset, not only every fifth day, but what he means in that clubhouse.
Guys, let's expand this conversation beyond just Roger now. It's a great win overall today. Let's talk about the things that are happening right now. Obviously, this team, and this is not a slight to Johnny Damon, but right now they are a better team defensively with Melky Cabrera in center field. We saw him make a great catch today, tracking another one down. This team seems to have, and is this fair to say, Michael, a different dynamic with Giambi out of the lineup, Johnny in as the DH, and Melky in center field.
I don't think it's unfair to say that at all, and we touched on that in the ninth inning. This team just looks like it's going to win, and for the first 2 months of the season, it looked like it hoped that it was going to win. I don't think that there's a deficit that freaks them out anymore. They still think they could come back, and the fact that Cabrera is in center field and Damon has that weight off of his legs, so to speak, he's become a better hitter, Bobby, and then if he gets on base, he kind of ignites the whole offense.
He's running the bases better. Yeah, he's hitting better. It seems like he's got an extra spring in his step since he's not had to play the outfield day in and day out. I mean, when you're injured, and especially if you got your legs that are injured, and you rely on your legs like Johnny Damon does in center field, I mean, it's working out good for both sides of it, because Melky now could step in there. He's got a better arm in center field, and he's got the speed to run down those balls in center.
Well, that's going to do it from the booth, Bob, and I'm just glad it's over because Leiter is crowding us over here. This guy's huge, and it's pushing me into Bobby. Bobby's going to go into the wall. It's going to be an ugly thing, so back to you.
Don't knock me off my block, okay?
Yeah, when Leiter's around, you got to watch
so
out.
Big.
You got to watch out for those lats. They're all over the place.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You guys gigantic. It's unbelievable.
All right,
He's
guys.
got a lot of nerve.
Have a great
muscles,
night.
Al. Now, I'm the fat one.
Have a good night, guys.
Take it easy,
We'll
Bob.
see you again tomorrow. All right, we're going to take a break. Coming up, we are going to talk about Roger Clemons, and we will hear from him. What an outing for Roger today as he picks up a win, his first back in pinstripes. And we're back once again here on the Nissan postgame. The Yankees beating the Pirates today 9-3 for their 5th straight win. The relaunch of the Rocket, a success, and Yankees fans hope that will continue the team's upward trajectory. Roger today, look at the pitches, working that split finger so well, playing off the fastball that the guys in the booth noticed was only 90, 91 miles an hour. They hope that the fastball comes back a little more, which will help offset that splitter even more in terms of change of speeds. But here's what Roger did today. Going 6 innings, allowing just 3 runs, struck out 7 in a 108-pitch performance. He also had a pregame meeting at the mound with the captain, Derek Jeter, and Kim Jones had a chance to ask him about that.
Roger, Derek Jeter just told me he introduced the infield to you right before you started. That gave you both a laugh.
It did. I saw him coming, and so I knew something was, something comical was going to come out of his mouth. And he said, "It seems like old times, but let me just familiarize you with your new teammates." And he started going around the infield, and I said, "Hold up," and I said, "I don't have number 46 on my back. That's Pet. He doesn't know who plays behind me." But we did get a good laugh, and then we got down to business. For
all you've accomplished in your career, Roger, did you maybe need that to lighten the mood just for a second there?
Not really. I mean, it's just getting back. I wasn't allowed to come to the stadium yesterday, and so I haven't seen these guys that much. I've just been obviously checking them out on TV. So when I went out to warm up, I took a look around at the stadium, good crowd, and the energy was up. And, we feed off the energy. That's why we do what we do. And it was just a great day. The guys, fired them runs up there, and it was a good day.
That splitter looked familiar.
It did. It showed up again, and I worked off that a little bit, worked off my fastball. Jorge did a great job. We haven't worked in a while, but he got right back to our cadence, what we were working on, and it was a good game plan, and we tacked the zone, and now as each start hopefully goes by, my legs will get stronger, and I'll be able to get behind the ball a little bit more.
You just mentioned Jorge. The two of you seemed to have a long conversation in the dugout when you were finished. What was that about?
It was about our pitch selection on a couple guys, about where I was comfortable doing what I needed to do at that point. I think down the road, again, I'll probably get a little quicker. Everything will get a little stronger, and we'll go from there. But there's some certain areas that I wanted to be comfortable in and pitch to where I was comfortable, and he was right with me on that.
We saw a lot of energy and intensity, not from the crowd alone, but from all of you. You yelled at yourself a couple times. Do you think that maybe you'll feed off this team, and more importantly, maybe this team will feed off some of your energy?
It's a good ball club. Like I said, I'm here to help them, and they're going to help me and make me shine, make me look good again like they did today. So the talent is here. We all know that, and you know, you just got to play with a chip on your shoulder. This is a very talented ball club, and you know, I'm just looking forward to getting things going now that I'm back to get in here with these guys and have a good time.
Last question for you. What was it like walking off to that reception and then all of your coaches and teammates in the dugout?
It just felt great because, again, I've worked real hard to get to this point. I did have one little setback with my legs, and I was trying to get here as quick as I possibly could and to join these guys. But the crowd, the noise from the crowd it was overdue. It was missed.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay.
All right, so there's Roger Clemons, obviously feeling very good about his first start. But let's find out what the skipper, Joe Torre, thinks as he talks to the media.
Joe, last night you said you wanted Roger to go 6, and you guys come away with the win, so it was all in all a good day for you.
It was a great day. I mean, you know, we were able to score some runs. You know, he gave back the lead. In fact, he was coming in the dugout saying, "My fault, guys, my fault, guys." And I was just happy he was able to win. I mean, he's not as sharp as he's going to be, but, you know, overall it was a good win and a good day for him.
Bruce, Joe, do you think Roger got better as the game went on?
Well, last inning, it didn't look like he tried to, you know, muscle up or throw hard. I mean, just tried to make pitches the last inning, and he had an easy time.
Was it enjoyable for you to watch? I mean, with all the emotion going on and him going to the mound and the way he ended?
Well, it was enjoyable, but you sort of became a fan. You wanted it to be good, and you know that you sort of take yourself out of the manager spot, and you know you're going to commit to him for 100 pitches, 5 innings, whatever the heck it's going to be, or 6 innings. And you're just going to watch it because you know you trust him. You know he knows what he's doing. And I was just glad we had the positive result. But, again, it's exciting anytime, I mean, he gets out and takes the mound because every time he does it, it's, you know, something added to his resume.
Joe, considering he finished with 2 strikeouts, was there any thought at all to letting him go back out for the 7th?
I didn't hear that last. What?
Considering he struck out the last 2 in the 6th.
No. You know, that was enough for the day. And, you know, I was surprised he, you know, was anxious to go out for the 6th, but that was fine with us. But that was going to be it. I think pitch count-wise, that was enough.
Mike, Joe, did you have the bargain for that 6th round?
No, I just told Gator to go on in and see what he wants to do. You know, certainly I wasn't anxious to take him out, but, you know, if he had been, you know, his tank was on empty, we were going to go get him. But we had, you know, somebody throwing right from the get-go, just in case he got in trouble. Well, not necessarily one guy, but just, you know, if it looked like he was laboring, we probably would have.
George King over here in the back.
Joe, do you know when he'll pitch again?
With the off day, I don't know. I mean, I don't know because Gator, you know, will schedule. You know, there's a chance. You know, we'll skip the youngster and we'll figure 5 days from now would be a guess. But we haven't really, you know, committed to that yet.
Joe, to your right over here.
Joe, you talked about you wanted a lift from this, the way the fans reacted and stuff. Did you guys get a lift from this, the team?
Yeah, you know, again, you know, we're playing well right now, and we feel pretty good about ourselves. And, you know, I think, you know, with Roger going out there, we sort of felt, you know, that we were going to try to do anything we could to help him, you know, and support was really the only thing you're going to do with Roger out there because, you know, he's going to go out there and give you what he has, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. But the players were really upbeat today. And I think, you know, part of it obviously was Roger, but the rest of it was, you know, how we're feeling about ourselves right now.
You have Sweeney to the left.
Joe, what about his sharpness? I mean, how good was it? What needs to get better?
Well, just command. You know, command. You know, he was missing his spots. Looked like he was working real hard to try to do it. You know, my barometer really was Andy. You know, because I used Andy to tell me, you know, in comparison to what he's been, you know, the last couple of years. And, you know, that was just his feeling that he just wasn't sharp today. Velocity was fine. Yeah. Now, again, he's not going to reach back and throw that 95, 96 stuff. You know, every once in a while I'm sure he's going to throw faster or harder than he did today after, you know, he gets into a groove. But again, right now, he's a pitcher of, you know, fastball, split, breaking ball, and that's what you're going to see.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Nissan postgame. When we come back, we'll talk a lot more and get more reaction on today's ball game. As the team's fortunes rise, so does the batting average of Bobby Abreu. Don't go away.